sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. 123 to 107. The Kings take care of business. We got defense. We got free throws. We got Simone behind the glass for us today. Yeah. Simone going to do a great job for us as always. Chris Watkins, How did you feel? How was the post-game YouTube? I hopped in for a quick second, but the Kings, man, I know no Paul George, but there were situations where they could have folded. You bend, don't break. James Harden still plays with little to no integrity. And because of it, we got a ticked off De'Aaron Fox, which is what we all love to see. I will pay money to watch that every single time. Domantas Sabonis doing his thing as always. We also have some tickets for you. The Jacksons and Sister Sledge. We will give you a chance to win those at 1 p.m. Chris Watkins, how's it going, my guy?
Good. The postgame went great. Went for like 45 minutes yesterday, so that's always a good sign when we're doing that on off day. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, the big takeaway for me is it's a scary one. I think yesterday might have started to build my hope. Yes. And I've said it a couple different times, but hope is the thing that'll really kill you. Mm-hmm. That's when it really starts to hurt, is when you start to actually believe that things could become a reality. And yesterday was definitely one where, much like last year, you can really point to this game and say, if you guys can put together this performance against this caliber of team, what's stopping you from doing it against any team in the NBA? So it's a great one. It was definitely one of, if not the most quality win they've had this year, but it's also one that really does start to get me excited for what this team could potentially become. And that's just a scary place to be at, honestly.
I was thinking what Dave calls it, the Wolody. Yeah. I was trying to think, what would it be, the Bowody?
Yeah, I'm sure they have it.
The Bowody, could that be in the running for best win of the year? I think it's definitely top 5.
It's for sure.
It's definitely top
3
5
for me, without a doubt. I mean, we talked about it last week. I think like what our favorite games were, like that double overtime in against the Magic is definitely sticking out to me. There's that Warriors play-in game for sure was a great one. Even in a weird way, that Denver one right before the All-Star break was a great one too. But this one to me had it all. It had the defense. You had multiple contributors on the offensive end. HB had a great night. Kevin Huerter had a great night. Sabonis ended up figuring it out, had a triple-double on national TV. And then, you mentioned it, upset De'Aaron Fox, mad De'Aaron Fox. That little moment that he had in that fourth quarter, that was special. Like, again, that's another thing where that builds you hope for what De'Aaron can maybe even become. That little spurt is what I'm sure every coach has seen from De'Aaron at some point in their tenure and said, look, he was able to do that for like 2 minutes. If we can build that out to 4 minutes and then build that out to an entire quarter and then build it out to an entire game, that's where this guy can become top 10 in the NBA, no questions asked. And again, it was a really big performance in terms of just building up hope and feeling like this team actually can do something in the playoffs.
And it's always nice when you get the opportunity to own SoCal in any capacity. Man. You beat the Clippers so bad, they probably thought they were going to get this nice win against the Kings, then do their unveiling of their new brand. We'll talk about the new branding that they have. They thought they had it all figured out, and look who came to spoil the party. Oh, just a little Sacramento Kings, a little brother. Well, didn't sound like little brother last night, okay?
Music to our ears from L.A. to Sacramento. I hear you at home in your living room right now.
And it didn't stop there. All throughout the arena, there are more videos of Light the Beam in the arena. Yeah. Okay, it's just pandemonium, and it's almost like the bat signal. Okay, for everybody that travels, we've seen this thing go when the Kings are traveling back east. I think I heard them when they beat the Grizzlies. You hear them multiple places, but to do this against the Clippers, one of the teams that we have been worried about, missing Paul George is a big deal. Yeah. Okay, but we've seen this team, the Kings team, lose to teams that are way worse than the Clippers without Paul George and blow leads and have missed opportunities. And the Kings, they figured out a way to keep their head above water and get it done, much to the chagrin of Bob Myers, who, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, which you turned into that ESPN broadcast?
I was going back and forth just because it was fun to me, because I don't even recall him. Was this the first time he did play-by-play?
There's no way he's ever done it before. I can't think of a reason why. Yeah. And in a weird way, I was saying this last night, this is kind of Doc Rivers' fault, because I assume that everyone just kind of got moved up in the pecking order after he got moved down. But Bob, I don't understand how is it so that they put Mark Jones on the Warriors game before, but then have Bob Myers on the Kings game? It just seems like such an, I know they, one is play-by-play, one's color, but it's just, make it make sense, ESPN. It wasn't that hard. You could have super served both of those audiences, and instead, I mean, I'm sure Mark did a great job on the Warriors game, but Bob Myers just completely the entire time had no real insight on the Kings. And I know a couple people said he sounded salty. I don't know if he sounded salty. I just think he wasn't very good at the job, which is fair because the dude's a GM. He's not a broadcaster.
I don't really get the whole appeal of Bob Myers as a talent at all. Yeah, I didn't understand it to begin with. I know he's a slick talker and he's made some moves, but I don't get the appeal of him. It wasn't that he was salty to me. He just sounded uninformed. Yes. Like he didn't know anything about the Kings, right? And look, a lot of people get on. I know people that do play-by-play, and I know Color is normally that person with some clout or maybe an ex-player, but there are a lot of people that want to be in those spots, and I think ESPN has to relook at this because it just wasn't entertaining at all. Yeah, it's less about he was just resulting to talking about the Clippers and the Warriors, because that was the closest he could get because he knew nothing about the Kings. Yeah. He just knew nothing about the Kings. It was bad. But luckily there is a mute button, and luckily you can get to the local broadcast as well, and you could hear the Kings get their just due the right way. Yeah. And that's exactly what we were able to hear because it was all over the place. Harrison Barnes, we'll talk about Harrison Barnes, the Black Falcon showing up once again. You have Sabonis, like you talked about. Kevin Huerter, I've been hard on Kevin Huerter. Yeah. Kevin Huerter, that jump shot, the hitchy woo-woo's gone, okay, for now, and he's looking right. He's still doing his thing. So there is so much to be happy about. We have fair or foul as well later in the show, and this is going to be one of our most entertaining fair or fouls that we've done. There are some funny stories this week for fair or foul. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about how Tim Legler, he's got some sound, about 2 minutes worth of sound, a little bit less than that, where he still doesn't believe in the Kings. So we will break down all of that stuff. And the free throws, 81% from free throw. That is what we are talking about. Cam Newton, by the way, what we're not talking about, my friend Cam Newton got jumped. Yes, you're okay, so we'll get into all of that. Yeah. Cody Bellinger signed. Is that the first domino? He did not sign to the Giants. He will be heading back to the Cubs. So a lot on this Monday. But before we get to a break, Chris, I do want to get your thoughts on the 4, and we're going to get into this a little bit deeper, but the 4 seed. Mm-hmm. Okay? Things can change quickly, and the show might be completely different if the Kings don't take care of business against a shorthanded Heat team tonight. But as of right now, as of 10-10, that 4 seed is not impossible, Chris.
It's not. As crazy as it sounds, it's really not completely impossible. I mean, especially the Kings will do themselves a ton of favors if they can get wins over the Nuggets and the T-Wolves coming up. It's not out of the question. They would have to play incredible basketball. They'd probably need a little bit of slippage from at least one of those top 4 teams, but it's not impossible. Crazier things have happened, and the Kings just have to. If they play like how they played last night, realistically, they can do anything they want. I mean, they probably can't reach the 1 seed. I think they're still 7 games behind, or 6.5 games behind there, but there's no reason why they can't get into at least starting to scratch the surface on that top 10 or top 4. And, once you're putting them in the danger zone there, anything can happen. Teams start to feel pressure. Guys start missing 1 to 2 games, and that swings everything. It's not out of the question, as crazy as it is. If you would have told me a week ago, I would have said you're insane.
I would have too. Yeah. This is why the Kings, they troll us.
Yeah.
They troll us. So this happens, right? And we give our takes. I sit here and say, I'm looking at the 7 seed, Chris. I'm looking at the 7. And I'm
hoping for the 7 seed.
I'm hoping for the 7 seed. Just give us a home playing game. Then they do this. And if they double up and win tonight, I mean, what we need to do, we'll take a look at the Clippers and their strength of schedule, because I don't know how serious a Paul George thing is.
Tough strength of schedule.
Where they rank as far as strength of schedules, because anything is possible. Not Kevin Garnett, not KG, but if you're in Sacramento, that may just be the case. When we come back, continuing the conversation, and we'll talk about Domantas Sabonis, another triple-double, because if you're playing on a day, if Sabonis is playing on a day that ends in DAY, he's probably got a triple-double. We'll talk about it when we get back. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Fox now on the left angle, gets to 2-point range, lobs it out to Herter, wide open. 3 to seal the deal. He's got the triple, and Fox has a career-high 16th assist.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month, with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with a Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis becomes the 6th player in NBA history to record 20 triple-doubles in a single season. Well, it's because he has the ball so much.
Of course, right?
So he's got the highest usage. Mm-hmm. He's got the 6th highest usage in NBA history.
He does not.
Is that why he recorded all those triple-doubles? Is that why?
No, it's not at all. It's he definitely has some things working in his favor. The offense is definitely, based around him, but no, I mean, it's not just because he has the ball in his hand. It's not, it is because he is truly a special talent. Like, not many, and it's because it's not just the fact that they run this half court offense that slows everything down. We see him leading fast breaks and finding guys open. He just has a crazy amount of gravity, and it's insane just how often he's able to put up these numbers. And a lot of the time, it'll be like after the first quarter, he'll have 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. And it's like, how does this dude it's really because he's ready to go from tip off, but he's crazy impactful the entirety of the game. And that's why it's so hard to hear guys. You can just tell who watches Kings basketball by how they talk, but the respect level which they give Sabonis.
I can tell you who can. Okay. Name rhymes with Rob.
Yeah.
Friars.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you who did not watch any Kings basketball prior to last night. And he didn't even want to watch last night. Let's get to Sabonis and his thoughts about the triple doubles.
It's an honor. You said in the top 11, it's an honor to, there's those names up there are probably Hall of Famers, so definitely an honor to be mentioned with those guys, but I just try to play the game the right way. I'm a big man. I got to rebound. I got to make my baskets, and I like to pass. So, I'm just going to go out there and play hard.
That's it. Yeah. And he just grabs his lunch pail every single day, goes to work, right? It might not be flashy, but don't give me that it's boring. Don't give me that. It's boring. We got Manny Too Legit on the Sac Chat. Shout out to the Sac Chat, by the way. Domas posterizing on Jović. Yeah, I mean,
He's collecting bodies.
and he looks at the bench, right? He gets after it. It's just good old-fashioned basketball, but it's not really old-fashioned.
Yeah.
But it is, right? It's a hybrid. It's kind of like us in a way. We're old media doing new media. We're hybrid media. Domantas Sabonis, that's him. He's an old school big with some new school swag and some new school moves. Yeah. And I think honestly he just confuses a lot of people, right? Because he is Jokic without the weird one-footed random 3-point shot, so nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm one quick note, not to sidetrack us, but what you the tech that happened after Sabonis? I never got clarity. Like, who was it on a specific person?
Yeah,
was it on the entirety of the bench? I think yesterday in the chat,
right?
I think they told me it was on the entirety of the bench, which. I mean, that can bring me more, again, don't mean to sidetrack us, but Mason Jones yesterday was on his A game. Yes. I know it was on national TV, but to see Mason Jones, and I think Malik was a part of that tech too, that's like the kind of momentum that you tangibly feel with this team. Like, they're starting to feel themselves a lot.
And this is what we wanted. Yeah. This is what we wanted.
100%.
They are finally starting to, we played the sound last week, get their swagger back. And it just feels good. And it's awesome to watch to see that happening on the bench. And you just, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
You should be here.
Right.
You deserve to be here. And as much as it's when I asked Coach Mike Brown the question, hey, you got to beat the Spurs, you got to beat these lesser teams. You can respect teams, but still say, ain't no way we losing to this team, right? And De'Aaron, what did he say last season when he's talking about the Clippers? And he says, I don't give a bleep who they are, you know, talking about the new look Clippers. So that's how De'Aaron feels, and everybody is going with De'Aaron and going with Sabonis and taking notes on the whole situation.
Yeah.
The way they played last night with that defense, okay, we did beaming or dreaming. With that defense, those free throws, that balanced scoring, Harrison Barnes, welcome to the party again. Okay, Kevin Huerter, welcome to the party. Keegan Murray doing his best. It's Kawhi, but he's doing the best that he can on him. That team last night can at least get past the first round.
Yes.
That team last night.
Yeah.
The question is, how many times for the rest of the season is that team going to show up?
Yeah.
And I don't know. But if that team shows up, they can – you talk about make some noise, they can make some Kings noise. They can get to the second round and get a little frisky.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly how I feel. And I think last night's the example of what it's probably going to look like a lot in the playoffs. Like, in every playoff game, you're going to bring your 100%. And I think that was the closest we've seen to this Kings team's 100%. They did a great job. They also, shout out Mike Brown. We get a ton of people in our comments when things aren't going well. Mike Brown, what are you doing? Get Brown out of town and all this stuff. Well, how about the fact that yesterday, I really think the biggest reason why the Clippers never got into it was because Mike Brown said, Paul George ain't playing. I'm going to play this like a playoff game. I'm doubling Kawhi and forcing him I'm forcing everybody else to beat us.
Yeah.
You saw James Harden. I think there's some luck that gets involved as well.
Yeah.
Harden was 2 of 10 from 3. He had a couple good looks.
Well, he's washed.
Probably needs to hit those. He's getting there. I don't think he's washed yet. He's not washed yet.
He's not washed, but I like to think he's washed.
He's getting there.
Because he annoys me.
He's
your boy
really
Norman Powell, though.
Yeah, he hit a couple.
He's a problem.
He hit a couple, and he only started because Paul George didn't play. So if you imagine that dude coming off the bench, Clippers are scary. But again, the bigger point is I think Mike Brown did a great job. I thought they had a great game plan, and overall, too, I just think yesterday it was really clear they just wanted it more. As cliche as that is, like, the amount of 50-50 balls that went in their favor, the amount of times, they're getting their hands in there on inbounds passes, just making nothing easy.
Kevin Huerter deflections.
Kevin Huerter deflections. There was a couple of them. One went out of bounds, I can remember, in the fourth quarter. It was real. It was a real, team bonding victory, it felt like. That was everybody pulling on the same string. You saw weak side defense really shine for the Kings last night as well. I just thought it was a great performance. And I feel like if they take that and they play the Nuggets with that same intensity, they play the T-Wolves, and then they even play the Chicago Bulls with that same intensity, it's going to be a really fun stretch down these remaining games. And Alan, that's why I'm so scared, man. That's why I'm scared, because
don't give me hope. What is Star Wars? Don't give me hope.
Man,
we got hope now.
I'm telling you.
We got hope now. Coach Mike Brown said it.
It's creeping in.
February, we will find out which teams want to make a run and which teams want to just pack it up. And maybe Cancun is coming sooner than you think. And the Kings, they did the same thing last season, coming out of the break, and they're trying to do it now. We'll see what happens tonight, because this is a huge game. If they win tonight, even without Jimmy Butler, still second half of back-to-back. Okay, they're not playing around,
momentum,
right? Because you beat the Clippers, you could feel really good, and they're only. We'll talk about the injury report. A couple guys are questionable. Terry Rozier, guys like that. But this is a game to where you can feel yourself too much in a bad way and slip up. If you come up, take care of business, win. You don't have to win handily, but you get this one done. Okay, these guys aren't playing around.
Second night of a back-to-back, right?
Second night of a back-to-back, but we don't those excuses, we don't care about them anymore, because it doesn't matter because of what we did prior to the All-Star break. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Doug, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Doug? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Doug.
Tell you what, that was fun to watch yesterday, and I didn't see all those other wins that you guys talk about in a top 5 win last night, but this year I have not seen them play. The thing that everybody talks about almost every show is the lack of defense. And I thought that the energy that they came out with and how they're there and they're battling and they had a look, that said, hey, you know what? We're tired of getting pushed around. And I think Fox that's where he's at, because it's like, I'm not getting any calls.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm going to get a nice little technical. Let's see what that does, because I'm fired up. And then from there, it was just more of the same. Guys start hitting timely shots. One thing I say about basketball is, like, basketball is a simple game, okay? And execution is the key. That's it. So I love the chance at the end and light the beam. I'm going, man, looks like we're traveling well last night, and it was wonderful to see. And tonight you put a cherry on top in Miami, and that's all I got. Great show. Have a great call the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Yeah, look, and here's the thing. We know it's NorCal, SoCal. We know there are probably some Sacramento transplants down there in L.A., but how about this thought process? Maybe there's some new Kings fans down there. Maybe there's a young Kings fan that sees De'Aaron Fox doing his thing, or a Sabonis fan doing his thing. Maybe they think, man, that light the beam chant is pretty darn cool. It might not just be transplants. This thing is growing, and if they continue to win, it's going to continue to grow. Doug had a great call on the defense, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about when we get back. The defense and the Kings. We have sound from De'Aaron Fox, what he thinks about the defense, also from Mike Brown. Coming up next, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Temperatures drop down slightly for your Monday. Expecting highs in the lower to mid 60s. Will be mostly cloudy with a chance of maybe a few stray showers or a little drizzle the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The next election is March 5th. Vote centers open February 24th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 762-8019.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. On the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations used leather for water skins, armor, and sandals. Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Today, leather is one of nature's most luxurious products. The combination of leather with beautifully designed furniture creates an end product that adds luxury and sophistication to any room. During Naturewood Home Furnishings leather sale, you'll find their considerable selection of leather is flexible, breathable, natural, and maybe most important, comfortable. Whether you're a relaxed contemporary kind of person or you're more classic leather, Naturewood Home Furnishings has color choices and styles to fit your home. In fact, I doubt any store can beat Naturewood's selection. During Naturewood's leather sale, all leather furniture is on sale for a limited time. Sit, enjoy the comfort of leather at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
I haven't been this excited about a deal in a long time. Right now, you can save $18,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesels. This thing can get up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and it's the perfect combination of off-road fun and work truck. Plus, it's the #1 new quality vehicle among mid-sized trucks, according to J.D. Power.
And you're selling them with an $18,000 discount? That seems a little crazy.
Well, we do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of this savings at Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings, selection, and no surprise hidden fees.
$18,000 net savings after $11,096 factory rebates and $6,904 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association to qualify. 5 at this net savings. Sample VIN 553-385. See dealer for details.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Woke up in a dream. That dream was avoiding the play-in. That 5th seed looking nice, Chris. 5 for De'Aaron Fox. Oh. It could all change very quickly, obviously. But the Kings, you're getting some bones thrown at you, and you have to take advantage. No Paul George last night. You get the W. Jimmy Butler got into a little kerfuffle.
Yeah.
A couple days ago, no Jimmy Butler tonight. Okay,
skirmish.
no Nikola Jović tonight. No Thomas Bryant tonight. We'll also get into the injury report from the Heat. You have to take advantage of these situations.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. You can't, it doesn't matter. Excuses don't matter. I don't care that, I don't really care that Jimmy Butler's not playing tonight. You should attack that Heat team the exact same. And, if anything, of course, you should beat them even more handily. But the important thing is getting the win. And so I've said it before. I'm going to try and stay consistent. I don't care if it's 102-97. If the Kings get the win, I'll take it on the second night of back-to-back during this stretch. Just get the results and keep it pushing, really, at this point.
Mm-hmm. And the 925, don't think we forgot about you last week when we said our predictions. I said 3-1.
Yep.
Chris said 4-0. The rules were you can't say 2-2 because that's too easy. You said you guys drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
Don't let it happen.
Yep.
Okay, because we will come in here with actual Kool-Aid and drink it during the show. We really will. I don't care.
Might be a bad look for us.
I don't care. Maybe I'll wait until March to do it. We'll do it.
Maybe we can do Crystal Light or something.
Crystal Light, some LaCroix, something like that. I love Squirt.
Hey,
I do. Chris Berlant and Nate, 2 people text me this week.
I know.
This weekend, drinking Squirt. It's underrated.
It's taken over. It's taken over the country. Absolutely.
It is. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Music, royalty, and soul's pop icons, the Jacksons, and Philly's favorite sisters and ultimate disco divas, Sister Sledge, are hitting the stage and joining forces for an amazing show, and Sactown Sports can get you in the building courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m., and we will get that caller number from... We'll go with Simone. It's always nice when Simone picks the number to score that pair of tickets, and Simone will take care of you. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Let's get out to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? You know what it is. Stiles and Watkins, what you got for us?
Good morning. That defense last night was absolutely just a huge breath of fresh air. When De'Aaron Fox got that technical, and then they played the highlight again of him, they slowed it down. It was just arms up, all body. He stuck his pelvis out, you know what I mean? Just all body, complete lateral speed. His quickness was ridiculous. My man Fox was in his bag, as Mark Jones would say, or Kyle Draper, The man was in his bag last night, and it was just an absolute breath of fresh air to just see that intensity. Man, it seems like we're gonna get fourth quarter Fox for the remainder of the season. Granted, that's my opinion, but it really seems like he definitely is ready to turn it all the way up. Thanks, boys.
Thanks for the call, Steven. I'm thinking here, Chris, when someone's in their bag like that, because, Mark Jones and Kyle, they got their thing.
We were the same.
We got Jan Sport. We can say, okay, he's in his Jan Sport. We can have we can play Duffel Bag Boy by Wheezy every time he gets after it, because that's right.
Man, I feel like Mark would have gone like, excuse me for, I don't know how good or bad this impression is going to be, like, in his bag like a Louis store or something. Like I something along those lines.
Yes.
He's workshopping it.
He's workshopping it, and he's going to need more as long as De'Aaron keeps playing like this. Shout out to Jan Sport and shout out to Wheezy Duffel Bag Boy. We'll get that going whenever De'Aaron goes off like that. And defensively, it wasn't just offensively. He did it defensively as well, and he had some things to say about the defense. This is De'Aaron talking about the defensive intensity.
It all started with the way that we were guarding tonight. Going up against a team like this, we didn't give up 30 points in a single quarter. You put yourself in a great position to win regardless of who you're playing against if you never give up 20. If you never give up 30 in a quarter. So it probably didn't matter what our offense looked like at that point. If you're guarding that way, you give yourself a chance every night. I know for me to be the player that, I want to be and my coaches think I can be, and for us to be the team that we want to be, it starts on the defensive end. And just being that first guy, being that point of attack, picking up, I think with that starts, you have to be in great shape to do that. Let's try to do that for, 82 games, however long you're out there going into the playoffs, being able to do that. If I'm able to do that and just be able to disrupt the offense from the point of attack, I think we start in a great spot.
Yeah, and I think one thing that the Kings have learned, I wouldn't say the hard way because they're sitting here in the 5th seed and it's just been a ridiculous season for the Western Conference, is that for how they play on the offensive end to do this defensively, it's going to take Coach Carter. You will run every line for every 14 sisters that I have. That's what they have to do. They have to get that stamina up. They have to be ready because I think that's what they learned, all of them separately, but as a unit. Keegan Murray is figuring that out. Kevin Huerter is figuring that out. Harrison Barnes, this is even faster than what he was younger when he was playing that fast in Golden State. And you have De'Aaron Fox who wants to be a high-level two-way player. So they're all figuring this stuff out. as the season goes, and it feels like they're starting to get their legs under them. Obviously, they just had the break with the All-Star, and we just went through. When is the next time? Hopefully, we just never have to talk about De'Aaron Fox's shoulder again. Looks good to me. He was 0 for 4 from 3 ball, but
he just had to mention it.
He just had to mention it. Now that it's
shoulder.
Now that it's out in the open, we can all say, okay, De'Aaron, we know you're working through some things, but he's a dog.
Yep.
And he's sitting there and he's taking Harden's shoulder, and Harden's still trying to do his let me wrap my arm around your arm and play do-si-do, whatever it is. And it's ridiculous. 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Will, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Will? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us today?
What's up, Stiles and Watkins, man? How y'all doing, man? Hey,
great.
I feel like James Brown, man. I feel good. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Hey, you know what, man? The national media, the national media is not going to give us any props, man. Look, TNT does the same thing. TNT, ESPN, no matter who we play, they kind of downplay our talent. You know, they don't pump us up like, they don't understand. Look, we already beat Denver twice.
Right.
We beat Dallas. I think we beat Dallas twice.
Denver 3 times.
Yeah, and we beat we beat Minnesota at home. We beat all those teams. But last night they kept trying to get, and I was going back and forth. They wasn't giving us any props, man. It kind of pissed me off. But let me tell you something. What I recognize. Coach Brown has started figuring out on star players like Kawhi, man, you got to trap him. You got to double team him. You got to get the ball out of his hand. There's a lot of teams that we play. We refuse to go zone or trap and stuff like that. And then when the guy's hot, if it's still one-on-one, we're not going to stop him. So last night, man, you saw how they kept trapping Kawhi. He had to give up the ball. He had to give it up. In the same way with, I know we didn't have Paul George, but I don't think that matters that much. But anyway, man, we looked good last night. And Fox got to have that chip on his shoulder, on that weak shoulder. He got to have that chip every night, man. He got pissed. We have to show passion and don't let people punk us, man. That's what it is. And we looked good last night.
Thanks for the call, Will. That was pretty funny with the shoulder with the chip on the bad shoulder. The one thing I will say is, I don't know if you recall this, Chris, but the last time the Kings faced the Clippers, they were losing, so it was different, but they were trapping, but Paul George played. That's the problem. And it is a difference. And it is a difference. And I do think Paul George has been balling, and it would have made a difference. But at the same time, I don't really care. I care about Mike Brown saying, what do we have to do to win tonight? Okay? Yeah. When we get to a series, we'll figure it out. Maybe that's not the way to do it every single game. We've seen the blitzing burn them in the past. We've seen the blitzing help them in the past. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. What do we have to do to win tonight? And that's exactly what he's thinking as we get into the game tonight against the Heat. When we get back, continuing the conversation, we have sound from Mike Brown, who wants to talk about last night's defense as well. And more of your calls. Keep them coming. More of your Sack Chat and the text line. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Been chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Group is not a law firm. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is, when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now, If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Coming to the venue at Thunder Valley, March 30th, World One presents The Jacksons. Don't miss The Jacksons with Sister Sledge and special guest The Tramps featuring Earl Young. Live on one stage, The Jacksons with Sister Sledge, March 30th at the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets available now at the Thunder Valley box office, Ticketmaster.com, and World1Presents.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
It's been estimated that we lose more than 400 million golf balls globally every year. Hitting it in the fairway is a great way to prevent lost balls, but Golf Magazine's Josh Sen says, we can do better, people. First, play the right tees. The architect designed the placement of hazards for different handicaps. Second, find a reference point. Pick a tree, a shack, or a path where the shot was headed, and keep it locked as you head off the tee. Third, maybe use a highly visible ball. You've got a better crack at tracking your ball if it's the color of a lemon or a tangerine. And anecdotal evidence suggests there's something freeing about knocking around a cartoonishly colored golf ball. 4, do not look away in disgust. A natural reaction to a slice or duck hook is to turn away. As hard as it is to find an errant shot, it's even tougher if you don't know where to look. And finally, be a good scout. Instead of fiddling with your phone, keep an eye on your partner's shots. The more time you spend watching, the less time you spend looking. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Defense wins championships. Or is it a really good offense? Or is it a little bit of both? The Kings are hoping that they have a lot of both moving forward As Chris, you were looking at the strength of schedules. Where are the Kings now?
I really wish you didn't ask me because I've been trying to lock down strength of schedule, and everybody has different metrics for how they break down strength of schedule. I'm going to go off of Tankathon. It's the one that I've seen referenced the most amount of times. So according to Tankathon, the Kings have the 8th toughest, went a little Michael Strahan there, have the 8th toughest strength of schedule remaining, 520 win percentage. The rest of their games, 26 games left. They have one game against the Celtics remaining, one against OKC, as we know, one against Minnesota and Denver. They also have one more against this Clippers team and one more against the Milwaukee Bucks. Some of the Kings' easier opponents, which, as we've discussed, these are probably what we would define as gotta have it games, just in terms of you can't drop these, because these are the easy ones.
Tonight's a gotta have it to me now with no Jimmy Butler, by the way.
It is. Yes. It really is. And some of the easiest opponents the Kings have, they still have one more against Washington, one more against the Spurs, one more against Portland, another game against Memphis, and then they have Toronto and Brooklyn in here as easy opponents as well. So
so 8th. They're 8th, and Brandon Deitzman's asking, 8th toughest.
Yep.
So there are, and so the better question is on that one, which teams that are in the same vicinity as the Kings have anything of note? Anybody ahead of the Kings?
According to this one,
the Suns had a really tough one, right?
According to this one, the Suns have the toughest strength of schedule at 569 remaining win percentage.
So the Suns are in there.
They've
what
got
about
some toughies?
Mavericks
Pelicans are
Pelicans?
sitting pretty low. They're at 18. Pelicans are sitting at 10. Clippers are at 9. So the 8, 9, 10 is Sacramento, Clippers, New Orleans.
Okay.
You have Denver at 15, Dallas at 18, Minnesota at 19, OKC at 21, Golden State at 25. Really, the Kings are getting no favors with the exception of the Phoenix Suns, who, talent-wise probably are the most ready for that kind of challenge. So really, it's the Suns that the Kings pretty much have to be better than because of their strength of schedule. The Kings should look at that's the only team that they really have an advantage over. So you would hope that the Kings can hopefully at the very least finish better than Phoenix this year.
Yeah, and the Suns won a very back and forth game yesterday against the Lakers, who the Lakers are probably done. They're pretty close to done.
Yeah.
Suns coming up next have the kind of weird
their
back-to-back.
Tough. Looking at their toughest opponents.
Yeah, they need both those games against the Rockets. Yeah. And then after that, they host the Thunder. They go to Denver. They host the Raptors. They host the Celtics. They got to go to Cleveland. Then they got to go to Boston.
What if they have 2 against the Celtics, 2 against the Cavs, 2 against the Clippers, 2 against Denver, 2 against Minnesota, and 2 against OKC. So that's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. And either way, right, we're not doing our full-blown pocket watch segment. That's coming up a little bit later. Don't want to miss fair or foul either. Definitely as we get into all of those funny, interesting stories. But as far as the defense is concerned and Mike Brown and his thoughts on it, this is how these guys are going to win these games. And this is what Mike Brown had to say about the Kings defense.
So I thought for the most part during the season, I felt our defense has been pretty good. Not great, but it's been pretty good. We just haven't done a great job defending the 3-point line. And, I've said it before, if we were just average in that area, we'd be a top 10 defense. So we've shown that we're capable of doing it. Now we have to make sure we bring a level of physicality to the table along with it and defend the 3. And I thought tonight we did it. We talked about the extra effort, making sure that we had an awareness, especially on the weak side of the ball. And then we've really tried to clean up our technique when it comes to closing out to 3-point shooters. And it showed some tonight. Hopefully it will keep giving us, tonight's game will continue to give us belief that we can get it done behind the 3-point line on the defense end of the floor. And if we do, with as talented as that group is in that locker room, the sky's the limit.
Well, there you have it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's going to be interesting. If they can continue to play at this level, like that was the thing last season everybody talked about was if you can be the offensive level that they were and just play a shred of competent defense, what's the ceiling for this team? I think you saw an example of it last night. I said this on the post-game show, but these games just, they really didn't happen for the Kings last year. And if they did, they were few and far between where, the Kings were almost on most nights able to put up 120 plus. They put up 123 last night. The problem would be opponents would score 120 or sometimes 125 or 127 or a couple times too many, 130 plus. And you would get these great offensive performances from the Kings, but the defense would let them down. It didn't matter, or it would be a closer game than it needed to be because their defense wasn't up to snuff. And last night was the example of, just like we wanted. If you still play, you can even sacrifice a little bit on the offensive end. If you defend at that level, the other team just doesn't stand a chance. And you put yourself in a great situation. I think we just played audio from De'Aaron where he talked about it as well. That's the first time I think I've ever heard any Sacramento Kings say, it didn't matter what we did on offense because pretty much we took care of what we needed to take care of on the defensive end. And we could have sucked last night and pretty much we believe we would have still gotten the result. I can't think of the last time a King said that in a win. So I think it was a massive, massive step forward for this team defensively. And I hope they take some pride in it too, because that's the thing is it's not fun to play defense all the time. It's not spectacular. You don't get highlights. You don't get shouted out on ESPN, but it wins games. And you got to find the beauty in the struggle or in the ugliness of playing defense.
Well, they're the Kings, so they're not going to get shouted out on ESPN either way. It doesn't make a difference. And LeBron James last night, when they lost to the Suns, he said, when he talked about us getting to the free throw line or the Lakers getting to the free throw line, he said, we don't have that luxury of shooting 40, 50 threes a game. Basically, he's saying I got a bunch of brick artists on my team and brick merchants, and we can't shoot threes like that.
We have to play without integrity.
We have to. It's the only way we can score points. The Kings do have that luxury because they got a bunch of snipers, and they got guys that can put the biscuit in the basket. From the 8-3-1.
Ooh, that's a new one.
The Kings are growing in front of our eyes. They are starting to look like a budding veteran team who understands what time it is. That's you're in the running for text of the day because they are understanding what time it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they understand that this is not the time to mess around. And again, I think the biggest thing that I took away just from watching the game, I think any casual observer would have picked up that the Kings just wanted it more. They were more scrappy yesterday, and that just hasn't been a defining factor for the Kings. Like I cannot think of the last time I described a Kings team as gritty, as tenacious, as a team that wins 50-50 balls. And of course, some of that is out of your control. Some of it's just luck, the way the ball bounces for you that day. But it's about like the multiple efforts. I saw Davion Mitchell, close out on James Harden once for three, and it wasn't just a closeout, a flyby, and then look at the result. He closed out, flew by, and then contested again. It's the second, the third efforts that'll win you the game. Every time the ball's on the ground, Domantas Sabonis diving on the floor, trying to get it. You saw him pick up that assist from the floor.
Yeah.
That's like an example. Now, granted, he lost that ball, but plays like that, sticking with the play, Kevin Huerter cutting, knowing that Sabonis will still look for him. All those things are just massive, and those are signs that coaches will take and say, this is our team this is what it looks like when we just want it more. This is how I know we're locked in collectively. And it was really a great performance.
Yeah, they're not playing cute. Okay, this is not the time to look cool. That's you can do that early in the season. Oh, I don't really want to dive on that. We got a long season. Now is the time.
Yep.
Now is the time. Davion Mitchell, he had that clutch three and then clamped Harden, who plays with no integrity right after that. When we get back, continuing the conversation, and we discuss whether or not the 4 seed is possible. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Got a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at
Elk Grove Kia. If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Drinking the Kool-Aid from Aaron, we can have a Kool-Aid moment of the game. I like that. Last night would probably be, for me, De'Aaron getting ticked off on that Harden play and then proceeding to ball out.
It's just our play of the game sponsored by Kool-Aid?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to need Kool-Aid to shell out some money if that's going to be the case. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
What would be the I'm not going to call it the Kool-Aid play of the game because, I'm going to need some money out of Kool-Aid if they're going to get that kind of that featured of a sponsor.
That's right.
Nah.
That's right.
You got to pay for that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Play of the game yesterday. It'd be tough to not do that De'Aaron defensive stand. I'll do the Sabonis dunk. How about that? The Sabonis dunk all over Jović. Jović was I thought for a minute there it was going to be a long night for Sabonis.
Yeah.
I think he was 2 of 10 at one point.
Right.
Missing a lot of bunnies. He tends to do that.
You
but
cannot miss those
worse.
bunnies, especially if you don't get the foul call. Because he's 69% from free throw.
Air ball and hook shots and everything.
Yeah.
This is not looking good.
That is not what
picked it up.
Not what the Kings needed, but he did figure it out and picked it up, and the Kings got the W. But you wouldn't know it if you were looking at the ESPN social media handles from Kings Muse. Not a single tweet about the Kings game from ESPN NBA. ESPN had 3 games on yesterday, and the Kings game was the only one not tweeted about.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Is it part of the Kings' identity now?
Yes.
Should we still complain about this, or should we just lean into it?
I think we have to complain about it. Like, I mean, it's been a thing for a really long time. Of course, the media would throw it back and say, well, give us something to talk about, and then we'll talk about you. And, now we see no all-stars and still no talk about this team, even though they moved up to the 5 seed yesterday. I think that we have to. Closed mouths don't get fed in things like this. And I think, it definitely is. I think it's both answers. It definitely is something that's part of our identity and that we need to lean into and do lean into. But at the same time, like, it's literally on your network, ESPN. Like, it was the headliner. Like, it was the last game on for a great day of basketball. I don't know how much of it you caught yesterday, but to start with Sixers Bucks and then go right into Nuggets Warriors and then to headline with Kings Clippers and then to post nothing about, like, because if Paul George and Kawhi, or if Paul George played, or if James Harden had a 30-point game or anything like that, there would have been something out there for the Clippers continue to roll through the West or something like that. Nothing from the Kings is absolutely insane. You have the Sabonis triple-double to talk about. You could post that De'Aaron Fox tech and then great defensive stand. There was tons of different things that they could have posted about. I just think that it's part of it, man. For whatever reason, Sacramento's in California. I think for whatever reason, national media does forget we are in a huge economy. It might not be the biggest singular market, but we still are a big part of what's going on here. And you would never know it if you tuned into any national media. You would think the Kings are still a 9 or a 10 seed, and they're not anymore. And they deserve a lot more attention than they're getting.
And I think that the Kings have made it part of their identity, right? They are outspoken about it. When you go into pregame, postgame pressers, Coach Mike Brown will talk about it. De'Aaron Fox will talk about it. Sabonis will talk about it. They'll give kudos to each other. But ultimately, the NBA and ESPN and whoever nationally, they have decided who they think going to be the next faces of the league and who they want to leave this thing to when Steph Curry and LeBron James are done. And the Kings aren't on that list, right? Whether it's Shea, whether it's Luka, whether it's whoever, Jason Tatum, Giannis, the Kings are not on that list. These players are not on that list for whatever reason. This goes back to how can you, a lot of people talk about the Saints in the NFL and how they've gotten kind of screwed over by the NFL with the PI calls, things like that. For what happened to the Kings all those years ago with the Lakers, you would think that the NBA should feel like they owe the Kings something, and they don't. And the Kings understand that, and the Kings don't care. And when you're an underdog, you have to take what's yours. And I think that we're just like the 831 said, this is money time now.
Yep.
And I don't really, and this is probably to the point now when if it wasn't for, we know how De'Aaron is, right? He likes talking about tacos more than he likes talking about.
Shout out Banditos.
Shout out Banditos. He likes talking about tacos more than he likes talking about, some of the other things that other players get hung up on. But it's the incentives and it's the money.
Yeah.
That's why these guys get hung up on it. And I think that chip, just like Will said, our caller from earlier, that chip on De'Aaron's lesser shoulder is getting bigger and bigger. And that's what we love to see.
Yeah.
Because you just nobody's going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sacramento and even Sacramento compared to the Minnesotas, compared to the Oklahoma City, you got to get it out the mud.
Yeah.
And that is,
you're almost lost.
You're
right?
lost
You're
in
almost
it. You're
in the
stuck in
swamp
the middle.
Of everything, right?
You're stuck in the middle. You're not small enough to be Oklahoma City. You're not big enough to be a big city. So you got to make a name for yourself. Yeah. And that's what the Kings are doing each and every day.
Yeah. It's a really, really tough situation, but it's also like, I think it's the situation that, frankly, I don't know if they would tell you this, but I think they prefer to be the underdogs. We saw you could say this year has been an example of it. There was expectations this year. And I think for the most part, they definitely have not exceeded expectations. Maybe they've just barely started to reach what the expectations were before the year. I think that this team thrives a lot easier with that chip on their shoulder. If they can say it's not like the Niners who we joked about, them making up bulletin board material, them making up that people are saying they're the underdogs. Mm-hmm. I feel like if the Kings are the favorites, that's when they almost don't know how to act.
And that's kind of what we saw at the beginning of the season.
Exactly. And I think now they've kind of settled in a weird way due to their play. They've settled again back into the background, and now nobody's talking about them. Now they can say, oh, they're giving all these guys props, but forgetting about us. Let's show them. And I think, in a weird way, this is where the Kings want to be. This is where they thrive, is when nobody's talking about them, when they can kind of slide under the radar. And, at some point we'll have to address the fact that they don't seem to do well as front runners, but for where it is right here, right now, I think that this is exactly where they need to be.
Got them right where they want them.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll have that discussion depending on what happens at the end of this season. There's no need, because they're not going to be, no matter where they end, unless they do get that 4 seed, which is possible. But even if they got that 4 seed, if the Clippers are the 5 seeds, that's right. Everybody and their mother is going to pick the Clippers.
Yep, it's right back to last year.
It doesn't really matter. All guessing callers join us from Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Raiders. Todd wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Raiders? Todd, you're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're good. What you got?
Good. It's been a long time since I called, but, you guys are talking about how the Kings don't get no love, and, man, I can't agree with you more. I watched it on ESPN last night. I always like to watch on our local channel, but when I want to hear what the national media has to say, and all night long, they were talking about, can the Clippers rally down 9, the James Harden this, James Harden that, and it's like, all they talked about was the Clippers the whole time, and we were winning the whole game. And, I feel like it's always that way. And then after on SportsCenter last night, Tim Legler was on with Scott Van Pelt, and he, instead of saying the Kings did this good and the Kings did that good, he said, well, the Kings just ran it back this year, and Sabonis, he's kind of weak in the middle. And then he was talking about Sabonis' flaws after we beat the Clippers, he had a triple-double, and he said, I think we're going to lose because our second star, who is Sabonis, can't score enough. Every other team's second star can score enough. And I'm just baffled. I'm like, we ain't going to get no love ever until we win. So, we'll just have to be the first team in NBA history to win a championship with no All-Stars. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Because we have 2 All-Stars, but they didn't make it. And then they just criticize our All-Stars and don't give us any love. So when I heard you talking about that, I'm like, man, you're right on point. The only way we're going to get love is to win the championship, and we're going to have to do it without All-Stars. I wonder if that's ever been done.
I don't know. It's got to be for a very long time, if so. Thanks for the call, Raiders Talk. Keep calling in, man. That was great stuff. That was great stuff. Yeah, and I know the Kings are kind of building this model, but to be completely honest with you, Jokic, the things that he does that makes him generational, that separates him from Sabonis, that's the only reason. It took one of the most unique players in the history of the game for Denver to get talked about.
Yes.
And Denver complains. I think and you've discussed, Chris, how the Kings are building that Denver model, right? Denver, I got buddies that are Nuggets fans, and they complain about how ESPN never talks about them.
Yeah.
So it's not
Defending
just a Sacramento team.
Right.
I think Denver is a perfect example. A big city that's not huge, right? It's just right in the middle, similar to Sacramento. And I think Denver has dealt with the same thing. Michael Malone complains about it all the time. They got their championship, and it still doesn't feel like they get talked about that much. I know they feel like Jamal Murray is disrespected. He's got to stay on the court more. But I think that is basically the model, and I think that is a team who's dealt with the same types of things. And if it wasn't for Jokic being as unique as he is, nobody would be talking about the Nuggets either. I think that's the one comparison that I have, and you don't talk about Jamal Murray unless you see him in a big game. Nobody talks about that guy. So I think that is a very good comparison. Going back to Raiders, Todd, we have that coming up at 11:30, the Tim Legler sound, and we will react to it because it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Honestly, I just don't think that these dudes watch. They just don't watch.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I feel like that's where a lot of the criticism comes from, is because in order to have analysis, you have to know what you're talking about, and you have to watch the games. And if you don't watch the games, you can't say, it's easy to say, oh, De'Aaron Fox has a great season, but you can't really say, you can't go into detail as to why it is you believe in the team. And so, I mean, it's no secret here. The Kings aren't the favorites to win the championship. It's just easier to completely dismiss them. And then when they lose, you say, see, no, I told you all the reasons why I was skeptical ended up coming true. And, if they were even a shred of actual, if people respected them as a contender, then they would have to talk to them. I think it's a combination of people don't respect them and they don't watch them at all.
Keegan Murray may not be the third offensive option right now, and that might be okay. We explain why when we get back. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
This could be considered breaking news if you are wanting the Kings to get it done tonight, because we have an injury report that just came out on top of Jović being out, on top of Bryant being out, on top of Jimmy Butler being out. Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier are out tonight against the Kings. That is I'm just reading it per Mark J. Spears. So there's another one. It's a gotta have.
That's 3 guys who really could kill you tonight.
So it's Bam.
Yep. It's Bam.
It's Bam.
It's Duncan Robinson.
Duncan.
You'll probably see whichever Martin twin they have, which will forever elude me. They have Jaime Jaquez. Going to be a big Jaime Jaquez game tonight, probably. I know our guy Verlad's excited for that. I'm also very excited for that.
Not worried about his dunking, though.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Would love to get Malik kind of showing him, hey, young kid, like this is maybe this is what you should have done out there.
Caleb Martin is the Martin that they have. So it'll be Caleb Martin. I'm just basing it on their last game against the Sixers. Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith.
Oh, yeah.
Great
Haywood
name.
Highsmith. Yep.
Jaime Jaquez, Kevin Love.
Yes, that's right. We'll probably get
and Jamal Cain.
Okay. Sure. They always got to have one guy who it's like, I mean, Haywood Highsmith last year was definitely, they were starting that dude in the finals, but they always got to have one guy who it's like, wait, what is that?
Yeah.
I swear that's my neighbor. Like, what's going on here? That's that Heat culture that they like to talk about.
Heat culture.
But, it's, you said it earlier. This is definitely a gotta have it. It has definitely moved into this is as gotta have it as that Spurs game. It's as gotta have it as any Wizards game out there. You have to take advantage tonight, especially the fact that it's, the second night of a back-to-back, the fact that it's sandwiched in between some of the best teams in the Western Conference. You got to give yourself the grace. You got to give yourself the cushion. And, what'd we say? We wanted to go out on a limb and be bold and say, we can't say 2-2, but a win tonight, that locks up 2-2 at the very least for this 4-game stretch, which is exactly what the Kings needed. So if you win tonight, realistically, you've, for all intents and purposes, taking care of business with this stretch of games. And, you can only do better, of course. They can be 3-1. They can even be 4-0. But you've got to take advantage tonight and really leave no doubt. And if you can try and, with Wednesday being in Denver, if you can take care of this one as early as possible, you're only doing yourself more favors in the long run.
Yeah, Denver's still looking for their first win against the Kings, and
keep looking.
They looked pretty good last night against the Warriors, so Denver is going to be ready. Jamal Murray looked great. He shows up. It's basically Jamal Murray. They call him a good game merchant. He only plays well against good teams.
It's the best kind of merchant to have, right?
He's a gamer. He's a gamer. So if Jamal Murray doesn't ball
What's
against
the
your
opposite
team,
of the lights being too bright? The lights were too dim.
Yes, I don't feel like rolling out of bed. So if Jamal Murray doesn't ball out against your team, you're probably kind of trash.
Yeah, it's actually an
not
insult.
that you want him to, but you better
It's a sign of respect.
It's a sign of respect. But before we get to the Nuggets, which we will definitely talk about a ton, the Heat now, this is, you got to have it. And you have, here it is from the Sack Chat, James X, blueprint to beat the Kings. Rest your starter. We're not doing it today, James.
We're not having it.
We're not doing it today,
I'm not
James.
saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying we're not doing it.
We're not doing it. If the Kings have really, we haven't said the typical sports term, turn the corner, but if they have, this is a game, you just are not going to mess around in a game like this.
You just can't. No, especially, it would be so disappointing, but to James's point there, it would be so Kings for them to have one of their best, if not the best performance, especially defensively of the season, and then just let it completely slip. Like tonight, you said it earlier, it's a real opportunity to gain some serious momentum. Like you played some of your best basketball you've played all season long, less than 24 hours ago. If you could just continue that, make it feel like we are turning a corner, this isn't just a performance we had, but actually is part of who we are or we are becoming. I think that's huge for this team. And what better way to make sure that happens than against a lesser or easier opponent? It's lining up for them to in this tough stretch, make it a little bit easier for them. You just hope they can take advantage, man. And this is also an opportunity for we were just talking about they thrive better as underdogs. This is an opportunity where there's no excuses for you losing this game. Just go out and take care of business. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if your shot's falling or not. Miami, without Tyler Hero, without Terry Rozier, and without Jimmy Butler, frankly, they shouldn't even sniff 110 points.
No, they shouldn't. And, like you said, Jaime Jaquez going to try to do his thing. Kevin Love, somebody else on the chat saying don't sleep on Kevin Love.
Sure.
I'm not sleeping on him, but I am hitting the snooze button simply because what do you want me to do with that? I mean, Kevin Love, if he comes out and he goes
vintage,
you literally can't sleep on him because ain't nobody else playing.
Nobody's playing. Yeah.
How can you sleep on him?
He's one of the few guys you got to pay attention to.
They only got 7 dudes on the bench.
Yeah.
on their current roster right now. I don't know if they're going to bring up somebody. I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't care.
Yeah.
You have to win this basketball game.
Yep.
What are we talking about?
Yep. I don't care if Hayward Highsmith has a career high 30 points, which he probably will tonight. You've got it. There shouldn't be enough firepower on Miami to even get, like I said, 110 points should almost be impossible for that Miami roster. And who knows, maybe, you know, who probably understands that? Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat. So you also got to be prepared to get hit in the back a couple times tonight. Like you're gonna be in a dogfight tonight. Miami's gonna try and muck it up, make it as gross as possible. Make sure that whatever you like to get into, you're not gonna get into it easily. The Kings just have to fight through it. It's probably gonna be a close first quarter, but much like kind of what we saw against when they played in Detroit, you got to just kind of ride that storm out and understand, hey, our time's going to come, an opportunity or multiple opportunities are going to present itself throughout the duration of this game. We just got to be ready for it and just don't get down. Just don't allow yourself to get down, whether it be in the points or emotionally. You have to feel like at any given point in that game, it can be yours for the taking. And, like I said, I don't care if it's 102-97. I'll take the win. I really don't care. It won't be great. I won't be thrilled about it, but I'll take it.
I'll take any type of W. Chris and I will be in the building.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll put it to you like this. I want to see people leaving.
Yes. Oh man.
At the beginning of the fourth quarter. That's what I want.
Okay.
You can say if you want.
Yeah.
You can say if you want. But if the little one is getting a little whiny and you look up and you say the Kings are up 25 going into the fourth, people should be beating traffic tonight.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You should not be missing a barn burner.
I would hope not. On a Monday, let's hope not.
No.
Please.
No. Please. Make it easier for everybody. So when the game ends, you get the traffic out early. Yep. Okay, we got to put them down. We'll listen on the radio on Sactown Sports to the rest of the game. That's what we need tonight.
Yeah.
That's what we need tonight.
Miami took a pretty big effort for them to beat the Kings in Miami. So you'd hope that the Kings match up really well against them. And I mean, Jimmy was a huge part of that win too. It's just there's just no excuses, man. Like you just got to take care of it. Sabonis is going to be there. Sabonis really is the only one who has the toughest matchup tonight. So that's not going to be an excuse for him, but De'Aaron would love to see him, just take control tonight, give us a 30-piece. Malik has been really, really good. And, last night he was okay. Would love to see a big performance out of him. And Keegan doesn't have to deal with Jimmy. So
that's what
I want to see Keegan absolutely dominate tonight. HB had himself a good performance last night, so I'm not going to ask too much of him tonight.
No.
Hey, man, beggars can't be choosers.
He can double up.
I would hope so, but I'm not going to bank on it.
He can go back to back. He can do a double-double like In-N-Out Burger, and we need to.
Yeah.
He needs to. This is where you earn that cachet. This is where we're feeling good because the next two games are no joke.
Nope. No.
Right? Now, if you're saying, okay, HB, take this break if you're going to show up in Denver
that's what,
or against Minnesota, then fine, because you don't need all of it. It would be really nice to see Keegan Murray get going. When we get back, we will discuss Keegan Murray and how he may not be the third option offensively right now, but that's okay. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Stockton Honda.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm, AI Smoke woods and irons, and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
We have joked about national media not talking about the Kings, but they did have some things to say as basically the game ended and Scott Van Pelt has Tim Legler on. Chris, if you were watching, and we're not going to play the whole thing, just a clip that Tim Legler has, but it almost sounded as if, and I don't want to go too far here, but it almost sounded as if they had to talk. The way Scott Van Pelt, the game ended, and Scott Van Pelt essentially says, he didn't say this verbatim, but he essentially says, well, while we're here, what do you think about the Kings? Right? It was not planned. They had their whole Clippers
in the West
planned out.
Might as well.
Over in the West, yeah. I mean, Kings game just ended. What do you think? That's basically how we said it. I think they were all planning on talking Clippers, and then the Kings said, we got something for you. And they just basically say, I guess we should talk about the Kings since they just won on our TV channel. So there you have it. Let's hear from Tim Legler and what he had to say about the Kings, and more specifically, Domas Sabonis.
Now they're clearly going to be a playoff team.
Are they positioned to take what happened last year and, with that experience, build on it, in your opinion?
I do think what happened to them last year could help them in a series, and they're going to be a tough out. This is a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
They basically ran it back, though, right, with the exact same group. And last year, if you recall, they grabbed advantage of a situation where they had everybody healthy all year.
Right.
So they get the 3 seed. A lot of teams had injuries. They had guys sitting out large chunks. Their guys showed up every night, and it shows you what can happen when you do that. You get a 3 seed. Your reward, take on the Golden State Warriors, get a 50 out of Steph Curry in Game 7, and you go home in the first round.
Right.
I look at them this year, and I see a very similar team. And I think ultimately, Scott, what it comes down to for me, as great as Sabonis is, and I love Sabonis, he has some limitations offensively that when you look at the other top teams in the West, and there's 8 teams chasing 50 wins this year.
Right.
When you look at those teams, like that second guy is just a more dynamic offensive player in terms of getting their own offense, getting their own shot.
Okay.
I mean, he's an incredible power player, and he will punish you inside. And as hard as he plays, takes the occasional 3. You just mentioned his 3-point percentage. Doesn't shoot very many, though. 69% foul shooter, but it's the stuff he doesn't do in the middle area of the floor. I feel like every other team in the West has a second guy that can kill you from that area of the floor. So there's a limitation there. And last year, if you recall, he got bottled up in the Golden State series. He averaged 16 points a game. They had a good defensive game plan against them. Everything came to the defense. They were walled up against him, and he struggled to figure out another way to beat them. I kind of feel like they will run into the same thing, whoever they get this year. And who knows how these pairings are going to play out.
Sure.
They're dangerous. They're good. On a given night, yes. And could they win a first-round series? Probably. I wouldn't bet on it based on the relative competition that they're going to face.
Yes.
Well, here's your prize.
Yes, Tim, we remember.
Congrats, Kings. You won on national TV. We get to talk about you. This is what you wanted, right?
Right. Yeah. And yes, we are very aware of what happened.
Yes.
I'm just so sick of hearing about it, to be completely honest with you. And, we got bottled up.
No one talks about the Cavs last year getting destroyed by the Knicks in the first round. Not a single person brings that up.
Nobody. And when you talk about Domantas Sabonis and how he's limited offensively, besides the fact that, I mean, how many bigs that are traditional bigs? I think it's less about Sabonis being limited and more about the fact that there's just not a lot of traditional bigs anymore.
Yes.
I think it's
not at this level.
Not at this level.
Yeah.
Right. So, when's the last time? I don't hear anybody calling Rudy Gobert limited. Until, you put him in pick and roll action, whatever. But offensively, people just give him a pass.
Because he's so great defensively, no one brings up his offense. But I would argue, to your point, Sabonis is so good offensively that whatever limitations you feel like he brings defensively, it's a net neutral.
But
right?
Tim wasn't talking
worst,
about defensively. He was talking about offensively.
I think he mentioned their rim protection at some point as the reason why he ultimately didn't trust Sabonis. But I think it's just overblown in general. And I think it's a fact that Tim Legler probably hasn't watched many Kings games, but it's crazy to me that, this is the first conversation you guys have had about the Kings. The question wasn't asked of, hey, how seriously should we? The fact that he just took it in that direction, I think it's crazy. And it's like, why can't you guys just have a conversation, even if those are your feelings about the Kings? Why can't you spin it into a positive conversation about, hey, how good are these two pairings? Or, what besides their, we know a lot about Sabonis and Fox. What else makes them interesting? Just the fact that that's the route that they decided to go, or Tim Legler maybe just decided to go with that conversation, I think is really telling of where or how the Kings are talked about in general from the national media. And, NBA Today does an okay job of it, but even then, they're always going to lean more towards Lakers, Clippers, Warriors. And we had that, I believe it was Raider Todd said, even during the broadcast, it felt like they were doing it from the perspective of, okay, the Clippers are down, but this is actually, we're going to tell the story of how the Clippers came back and won this game. And it just never happened that way.
When it comes to the national media, there is only so much that you can know. So when something new comes into the fold, it's probably almost annoying to them because it's more research they have to do. I'm going to take you a trip down memory lane. So my job prior to this, basically we had to make sure games were scheduled on the app and things like that. So when March Madness came along, we had deals with a couple big NCAA partners, right? Okay. But it didn't cover every team. So each season, we would hope that only those teams made March Madness, because if UMBC or one of these small teams scoots in, right, then we have to set up something completely different, and it makes things more annoying for us. Right. And that's essentially what's happening with national media and the Kings. I already got to know about the Warriors. I already got to know about the Lakers. I already got to know about Giannis. I already got to know about the Clippers, all these teams.
I just did all this Denver research.
I just did all this Denver research
because I wasn't watching them before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got to do the Celtics and I got to do the Sixers. Yeah. And now you're telling me I got to study Sacramento. I don't feel like doing it. So I'm just going to continue to downplay them, and hopefully they'll just go away. But the Kings are not going away.
No. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. And I think, I think it's gonna be imperative on the Kings and Kings fans. Like I said, I think the way of doing this is by public embarrassment works sometimes. Like, telling Kevin O'Connor, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Telling Tim Legler, letting him know this isn't okay. For the Kings won't just be forgotten about. They're not going
We'll get him on
anywhere.
the show. We'll get him on the show.
We'll get him on the program. I think he's been on these airwaves before. So, and I'm sure Tim would definitely play ball. But I think for the most part, it is exactly what you're saying. It's that we forget sometimes these guys it's just their job. Even though it is their job, they're not always going to be 100%. Just because you work at ESPN doesn't mean that you know everything or you're the hardest working guy out there. It just means that you're the loudest voice that they can find. And, I think a big part of it is exactly what you laid out, that it's probably, I guess it's a sign of respect, but they're essentially going to say, I don't know about you, but I don't need to know about you until I absolutely do. And when that time comes, maybe I'll do the research.
And I don't even know how much research people do. If you think about it in all the segments that they do, right? All the teams. I don't even know how much research they do on Denver.
Yeah, right.
I think they just say Jokic.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's just whatever is easiest to pull to when you're going to be asked a bunch of questions. Yep. So what are the go-tos when it's time to talk about the Kings? De'Aaron Fox. Yep. This is the stock answer for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, he's up and coming, but he's got to work on his three-point shooting, because they don't watch and they don't realize that his three-point shooting's up. And Keegan Murray, if he could be that third option, Keegan Murray hasn't been the offensive third option essentially all season long. Yep. And Sabonis, he's limited offensively. Yep. We saw what happened last season in the playoffs, and that's just the stock answer. Yep. You could put that into any national media person who gets asked to talk about the Kings. We could call them all up right now. Yes. I could call Stephen A. Smith right now, and I would bet money that he would say those exact words because it's just because it's just easy. It's just easy. So you have to make them respect you, and I think that's what the Kings are attempting to do.
Yeah, they're attempting to do it, and we'll see how it comes. I mean, even then, I feel like even if the Kings are, like you mentioned with Denver, even when they are going to be up there, they probably still won't be talked about much different. But I definitely think you're right. I feel like there are just kind of talking points that are easy to hit, and that's how you can truly tell who knows this Kings team or not. Because if you bring up the up and down season of Kevin Huerter, if you bring up the up and downs of Harrison Barnes, but mention, hey, in games where HB plays well, the Kings also tend to play really well, that just takes way too much watching. And there's just no way these guys they do have to, there is ESPN mandates of, we're going to talk about the Lakers. We are going to talk about Steph Curry.
Perkins already said, he said it on some TikTok podcast. He already said they will tell us what we have to talk about.
Knicks.
And yes, Knicks. Knicks are now back in the fold. That's another team they have to talk about. And I'm not expecting them to know, but that's why I asked the question, if you're a Kings fan, do you still care?
Right.
Does it still bug you? Because that these people aren't watching as closely as you would expect them to. When we get back, we will discuss Keegan Murray and his importance to the offense and the defense. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at
Elk Grove Kia.
With NBA League Pass, you get so much game.
Even regular season games?
Yep.
Even some of the in-season tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Can I watch home and away team broadcasts?
Oh, yeah.
Can I watch from my phone while I take a long bath?
Sure.
And if my team wins, can I stand up super fast and splash water everywhere and scream, yes, that's right?
Hey, could we get a normal fan for this commercial? Subscribe at nba.com/League Pass today. Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit nba.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
At Sherman, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Sherman Ultra Soft on the party, let's just so roll it back, everybody. Sherman's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The cream is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's crazy. So what chicks feel fine. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Sherman Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Sherman.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fidium Fiber Internet is fast becoming a hometown favorite. With a dedicated connection and speeds up to 2 gigs, Fidium is winning over fans every day. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can experience the best internet in the game. Visit FidiumFiber.com.
opponent. I got into it with somebody on X over the weekend because I was just talking about Sabonis, and they basically said they kind of went too far, and they even said Sabonis is putting up these numbers because players don't try as hard. They try harder in the playoffs, which I didn't really entertain. Then they tried to walk it back and say they didn't say that. It was more so what Paul is saying. So let's take off our purple glasses for a second and really break down if this situation last season with Kevon Looney was a bad matchup, bad luck, whatever it was. You see the saggy pants offense when you get off of Sabonis and you say, shoot that midi. And towards the end of if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of that series, he started to hit the middies, right? He said, hey, if you're going to give this to me, I'll take them. Do you think there is any smoke behind that fire to where we're going to do something differently on Sabonis than most people are doing night in and night out? Because my question would be, it's not as if you're playing the same team that 82 times. Why wouldn't every team take that approach, sag off him?
Yep.
And why wouldn't you do that every single game? That's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah, I think that last playoff was a very specific situation in which it was kind of like a soup or a medley of just things not working in his favor. I think Looney is a tough matchup. I think the Warriors' game plan was there, and I think Sabonis just frankly wasn't ready for it. I think, we don't really talk enough about, and maybe it's a bit of an excuse, but Sabonis has just never been in that role in the playoffs either. Like, yeah, he had an entire season of it with the Kings, but going into the playoffs, like, it's a different beast to have that level of attention on you and trying to figure out how to deal with it and still look like yourself. But saying all that, I just don't think that it's something that we can just put in Sharpie in the playoffs. Sabonis is going to be a lesser version.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work in the playoffs. And I'm trying to think of a comparison in another sport where almost, you know what it is? Kind of. It's similar to the Dolphins. Okay. Right? It's similar to the Dolphins, the thought process of this offense works when you can throw the ball and defenses only have a week to prepare for you, and the weather's great and you got these speedsters and everything is working right. That's when that offense is working correctly. But in the playoffs, it's cold. It's just more mucked up. It just doesn't work. That's the off the top of my head in 916-339-1140. If you have a better comparison, feel free to call in, text in, or hop in on YouTube on the Sac Chat going crazy today. That's the first thing that comes to my mind as that works in a regular season form, but not posting. Clayton Kershaw, right? Yep. Clayton Kershaw.
Peyton Manning, same thing.
Peyton Manning. Yeah. Is it actually that things are different, or is it just overblown? And these dudes, these are multiple years. I think that's the craziest thing. Donovan Mitchell, he balled out in the bubble, but Donovan Mitchell, you lost. I can't remember. I think they actually won that one. Was it the Jazz or the Nuggets when they were back and forth when him and Jamal were both balling out? Well, you didn't win the whole thing, right? So that happened.
That was a loss. That was a loss.
That was a loss. Then you had last season. So, but I don't hear anybody saying that Donovan Mitchell can't be a 1A. I don't see. I hear people saying,
I'll say it.
You got to get. I know you will on these airwaves. You got to get Donovan to LA.
Yeah.
You got to get Donovan to New York.
Yep.
He's the missing piece.
Yep.
Sabonis has one playoff series, against, and it took a 50-piece, or they still win that series.
Yep.
Sabonis has a lesser series, not even a bad series.
Not a bad series.
We're acting like
Legler trying to make it sound like it was
points.
terrible. Yeah.
We're talking about he averaged 8 points or something when that wasn't the case. And it took Keegan being ice cold, Herter being ice cold, and a 50-burger from the best shooter of all time.
Right.
And we're sitting here like the book has already been written on Domantas Sabonis. I do not understand it at all.
No, I don't either. And I really think Sabonis is the type of dude. I can't wait for the playoffs because I don't think it's going to freeze him. I think it's going to make him better. You've already seen this year in the regular season, he hasn't taken a ton of threes, but I think the amount of threes we've seen from him is a direct result of said slander from last year. I think he's trying to show people go ahead and sag off me because this year I'm going to shoot it, and I've got numbers to show you that you probably shouldn't allow me to do it. He's shooting, I think, 41% from three this year, and I think all of that is to show teams hey, go ahead. You know what? I almost dare you to try and sag off me again, because this year I'm going to make you pay. And it's going to be interesting to see, it's going to be on Sabonis. I think, the Warriors did damage him mentally as much as they did anything else. I think it was just making him think about what he was going to do was really the win. This playoffs, I just think he's going to be ready for it. I think he's also got a point to prove. I know he's not big on social media or anything, but it's almost impossible to think that he hasn't heard any of this slander. He's the exact type of dude to, I think, just show with his play and not with his mouth. So I'm excited. I don't have, I have some worries about his playoff play long term, like once we get into the conference finals kind of conversations. But I think that he's more than capable of being one of the best players on the team of a second or third round team.
Yeah. And that's honestly a question. And I know De'Aaron played well last season, but there's less questions about De'Aaron, right? Yeah. And he played well, and he had the finger great, and things like that. So maybe that's why. But ultimately, I feel better with you questioning the whole Kings team.
Yes.
Versus Sabonis specifically.
Sabonis is the one guy every single night you don't have to worry about at all. If anybody.
From the 209, a better example is Ravens, Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. Thank you.
Yes.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it, 209. Because it's not, that is it. It works. He's the MVP.
MVP level numbers for sure.
And it just, for whatever reason, and specifically with this past season, they decided to make Lamar, they tried to make Lamar Dan Marino and throw the football out of nowhere, and they didn't get it done. But thank you, 209. That's a good comparison. Yeah. Lamar, an offense that cooks in the regular season. And maybe
you could say Lamar's passing is equal to Sabonis' shooting, where it's like he's shooting to show people, I've got it. I just choose not to do it. And Lamar, similar thing, where it's like, his feet are definitely his asset, but people want to see him pass, and he's like, I can show you that if you want.
Yeah. And even with that, how long has Lamar? This is a good stretch of years now with Lamar, with it not working.
4 or 5 years.
This is Sabonis' first year as the number 2 in a playoff series, and the book is out. But look, to be fair, right? Get off my lawn. Hey, something is fact until it is no longer fact.
Yeah.
I think that it's overblown as if he was a complete bum when he wasn't. But if this is the current book, this is it until he changes it. Yeah. And you got to, first of all, get into the playoffs. Yeah. And second of all, you need to show that you can perform at the same level or close to the same level or better in the playoffs.
And how many times have we seen Sabonis? Like, I'm just, a bigger reason I'm not concerned too is, I mean, really with the exception of Jović last night, there just hasn't been many centers. It doesn't matter if it's Anthony Davis, doesn't matter how big the name is. It doesn't seem to slow him down. Like, it's not like Jokic just has his number. AD has his number. Sabonis is able to do what he wants against pretty much whoever he wants. I just think Looney is that one guy who, kind of matches up perfectly with him. He's not tall, so Sabonis can't really get the leverage on him. He's just as strong, if not maybe even stronger. Looney is crazy. Like, I just think that was the worst possible matchup, and Looney was doing things that just directly showed, okay, maybe that, so Looney having 10 offensive rebounds and 20 total rebounds in the game, there's a direct, that's Domantas Sabonis's guy. That's Sabonis having a bad game. I just can't see that happening against any other guy. Like, everybody else, there's going to be, if they go against the Lakers, Anthony Davis is supposed to do those things. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to go 40 and 20 against Sabonis every night. I just think he's going to be able to hold his own against pretty much any center in the NBA.
Yeah, and you have the familiarity with that team too, with it being the Warriors and Steve Kerr being on the other side. And Kevon Looney, yesterday, he got 10 minutes. He's barely playing for the Warriors, and they're moving towards that kind of youth movement. So I don't even know. They got their own problems to see if they even get in that bad boy, and the Kings are trying to ensure that they can avoid the play-in as well. They are in prime position. Technically, yes, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose games after this. But now, Chris, you can make the argument that you control your own destiny.
Yep,
you are in the 5th seed today. Yep, and you're facing a close to a G League version of the Heat. I'm looking up these guys.
Heat culture.
I don't know I don't know who's going to show up tonight. I'll tell you what, though, this would be a huge step back if they lose this game. Huge.
Absolutely.
Monumental.
Yeah, you almost completely reset all the momentum. And you've got to build it right back up in Denver. And then again, in Minnesota. It's just making it harder on
At
yourself.
this point, you need safeties.
Yep.
You need fail safes. And if it does get squirrely in Denver, or if you have a tough time with Minnesota, that's why you have to take care of these games. That's why you have the would like to have it, and you have the gotta have it. Originally with Jimmy, this was a would like to have it. This is now a gotta have it for the Kings, and we hope that they get it done. When we get back, there are some milestones that the Kings could reach to, and we are going to watch for the rest of the season. That and more when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Get huge savings on our best selection of new Hondas during our Honda President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Some milestones to keep an eye on for the rest of the season. Chris, you had some of these, De'Aaron Fox.
Yes. So for the rest of this way, this is from an article from NBA.com. They just have milestones to watch down the remaining stretch of the season. Of course, LeBron James on his quest for the only player to ever score 40,000 points is on here. There's a little nugget about Chris Paul moving to number 2 in assists. He's really close. He is 361 assists away from Jason Kidd at number 2. That'll be an interesting thing to watch. KD closing in on Shaq and Carmelo in terms of points. All that stuff is fine and dandy. But from the Sacramento Kings perspective, the thing that they have the milestone to watch is De'Aaron Fox continually rising up the ranks of franchise history. He is 638 points away from surpassing Sam Lacey for number 5 in scoring. Along the way, De'Aaron is currently 8th right now. He will pass, almost certainly pass Peja, who has 9,498 points, and DeMarcus, who has 9,894 points along the way. That, for you math wizards out there, is, yes, around 24 points per game is what De'Aaron would need to average the rest of this way. 24.5 points per game is what De'Aaron would need to average over the remaining 26 games for him to move to number 5. On top of that, De'Aaron is only 94 assists away from moving up to number 4 in the assist category, passing Reggie Theus, and that's only just over 3.5 assists per game for De'Aaron. So almost certainly going to move into number 4 all time for Kings assists, and more than likely, but not guaranteed, to move into the top 5 all-time scorers in franchise history. I believe that includes Oscar Robertson and all those other folks from Rochester and all those fun times out there. So
wow,
those are the De'Aaron specific numbers. And then there are some triple-double numbers just to kind of watch out for. Of course, Sabonis is a part of that conversation as well.
Yeah, Sabonis, 11th all-time in career triple-doubles, which is crazy.
Insane.
I mean, realistically, based on what he's been doing, it's a little bit, there are a good bit left. You figure what they're at 26 games now.
26 games left.
26 games left, and that this is for career anyway.
Yeah,
not season, but 26 games left. Larry Bird had 59 triple doubles. Domantas Sabonis is at 52. So Larry Bird is 10th on the list. Domantas Sabonis is at 11th. Luka is already at 9th.
Right. That's right.
With 66. You have James Harden with 75. He's at 8. Russell Westbrook, no surprise, is at number 1 with 198. Oscar Robinson, number 2 at 181. Magic Johnson, number 3, 138. Jokic, 123 at number 4. LeBron James, 110 at number 5. Jason Kidd, number 6. And this is a big difference, right? So Wilt Chamberlain had 78 at number 7. Jason Kidd at number 6 at 107.
Yeah.
So that's the big gap. Yeah. So basically,
be tough for Sabonis to bridge that gap
to break the top 6, but it's possible. He's at 52 now. It's possible.
Passing Wilt's a pretty good thing to have on your resume,
right? Because that would make you top 7. Yep. So keep an eye on that as well. And you have guys like, crazy enough, who's tied for 14. And the game has changed, I guess you could say, but you will never guess, and I mean never.
Yeah.
He is a current player.
Okay.
You will never guess who is tied with Bob Cousy at number 14.
If Sabonis is 11, who would be the player that's directly behind him? You said Harden, Westbrook, LeBron.
I've already said
Luka are ahead, and Jokic are ahead.
Yes. And Giannis is at 13.
Giannis was going to be my guess. Okay.
I mean, you'll never guess this.
This is an active player?
It's an active player.
Who has the 14th most triple doubles of all time. Right behind Giannis.
Yes.
Active players.
Giannis has 42. This person has 33.
I was going to say like Rajon Rondo, but he's not.
Rondo is 16. So this guy's in between those two. Rondo has one less than this guy.
Who has had this many triple doubles? Wow.
You're going to crack up.
I can't. I know, and I'm trying to factor in the way you're talking about this person into who would it be? An active player who's had tons of triple doubles, but you wouldn't expect them to have tons of triple doubles.
You want a hint?
And yeah, give me a hint.
My back.
That's a good hint. When you asked me,
I think I have an idea.
Who is it?
Is this Draymond Green?
No.
Oh, it's not Draymond? Really?
Draymond is actually number 17. When you asked me, does he still play? I said yes. I should have said kind of.
Kind of.
That should give it away.
Does he still play?
My back.
Kind of.
And
I
kind of play sometimes.
Oh, Ben Simmons.
There you go.
Wow.
Ben Simmons is 14th all time in triple doubles. And now all of a sudden triple doubles don't feel as impressive. Just all of a sudden. Sabonis, get to the top 10 so we can be
crazy.
Far away from Ben Simmons. Rajon Rondo at 16.
Wow.
Draymond Green at 17.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. I was going to shout out both Draymond and Ben Simmons, but let's not do that. I do have some triple-double numbers here while we're on the topic. You mentioned Russ being only 2 away. He is at 198 right now. He is 2 away from 200 triple-doubles, which would, of course, add to his number 1 total. Per StatMuse, Russell Westbrook, his 200 triple-doubles would be more than all but 4 NBA teams have in their entire history. Do you want to take a stab at any of the 4 teams who have less triple doubles than Russell Westbrook?
Less triple doubles than Russell Westbrook.
Yes. I'm sorry, that have more triple doubles than Russell Westbrook.
More?
I'm sorry, yes. Because there will only be 4 teams who have had 200 or more triple doubles.
4 teams that have more. Well, they have to have players.
That is correct.
So I would say the Nuggets.
The Nuggets are just on the outside looking in. They have 197 triple doubles.
Okay. All righty.
2 of these teams are obvious.
Lakers.
Lakers are number 1 with 313 triple doubles as a team. There are 2 teams on here, like I said, that are pretty fairly obvious, and 2 teams that you would probably never guess.
I was going to say Philly.
Lakers and Celtics are the 2 ones. Celtics have 213. There are 2 teams remaining that have more triple doubles than any other franchise in history, and will be the only teams that have more triple doubles than Russell Westbrook individually. These are 2 really, really tough ones.
Well, if they're that tough, what, the Magic?
Not the Magic, but you're
the Bucks
thinking right.
Because of Giannis? Bucks?
Nope. Bucks have 94.
The Heat?
The Heat do not. The Heat are not featured on this list.
Who is it?
It is the 2 teams that have over 200 triple doubles are the Oklahoma City Thunder / Seattle Supersonics for sure.
Right.
The other one with 303 triple doubles as a franchise is your Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
303 triple doubles. Shout out Oscar Robertson.
There you go.
Who has a large majority. Oscar, for what it's worth, has 181 triple doubles in his career. I'm not sure how many of those happened in Sacramento and how many were in Milwaukee.
See, I didn't say the Oklahoma City Thunder because I didn't know because Russell played on that team.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
So that's why I thought
contributed.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
So that I didn't think that one counted.
Yeah. No, it all
counts. There you go.
Well,
shout out to Kings for being on that list as well. From the 916 on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline and text line. By the way, coming up in an hour, a little less than an hour, we will give away tickets to see the Jacksons and Sister Sledge at Thunder Valley Casino. That is at 1 p.m. You don't want to miss that. Simone will be picking the number, and you have your chance to win tickets. This is from the 916. A ticked off De'Aaron is an unstoppable De'Aaron. Can the Kings hire someone to sit behind the bench and tick De'Aaron off just so he can always be
heckler
upset?
Or something? Yeah. But I'm telling you, the only thing De'Aaron gets mad at is fouls. And so you have to talk trash to him about how he's fouling too much or how, stop complaining. He didn't touch you.
Yeah.
It's the only way to really get De'Aaron riled up. He doesn't care if you trash talk him. He doesn't care. You say, oh, y'all are trash. None of that. It's if you say something about a foul and he disagrees with you, that puts him on level 10. And you saw it last night. He felt like James Harden shouldn't have got that whistle.
Yeah.
Sent him to 10 instantly and got a tech for, it was kind of soft.
Right.
You know?
Right. But that is the version of the Kings that you want to see at this point in the season.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't play like that, or you can't play at that intensity for 82 games.
Right.
And I think that's one thing when you compare high school and other levels and you say, hey, you can't, it's not a matter of turning it on or not, but there is a level of this is a marathon, not a sprint. We can't play. And there is a difference between regular season and postseason basketball. We cannot expect the Kings to play like that every single game for 82 games. And they didn't. But now that we're at 26, you're going to have to play like that for about, you could play like that for 20. And hopefully you win 17 of those 20. And then 6, fine. 6, you're just not going to have it. But this is why, okay, fine. If you're going to trick off games earlier in the season, okay, but now it's money time.
Bite you, right?
Now you have, and all the teams down there, they all did it. That's why they're all
Phoenix
now.
did it too.
Phoenix did it too.
Missed one too many games.
Now they're fighting to keep their heads above water, and they understand it. You understand what the job is. That's why people say, "Oh, I like going back to the Super Bowl." Okay, Mahomes knows what he has to do. The Kings now know what they have to do. You got to win games. You cannot have any days off. Any.
And to your point too, they experienced this last year. They have experience doing just this, and that's what hopefully they can continue to ride it. But right now they are on the same exact trajectory as they were last year. Last year was after that crazy double overtime game. You had Malik Monk in the press conference saying, "Hey, I don't really think about the guys over there. We're here too. They got to think about us." And again, it felt like after last night, there's a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence that this team is gaining. And that's why tonight's so important. You got to keep those good feelings feeling good. And it can all turn really quick. Like we said, I mean, if they come out flat, if they don't get the win tonight, feels like all the momentum you've built is just kind of going to go flush down the toilet and you're going to have to build it back up. And that's really, really hard against quality opponents. Just take care of business tonight. Keep the good feelings feeling good. Go into Denver. Do what you can, man. That should be the main focus right now, is just setting yourself up as good as possible for the next game and taking care of business tonight.
Pocket watching is coming up next. When we return, we discuss who's playing tonight. If you are a Kings fan, who you want to win, who you want to lose, and where the Kings fall right now in the standings, depending on what they do. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Got a little bit of help last night from your boy, in Indy as the Pacers beat the Mavs. Halliburton. Can you say thank you, Tyrese?
No, I can't. No, I can't. Thanks for asking.
I figured I would give it.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I will give it a try as we start our pocket watching segment. We are going to break down all the movement in the seating and who you need to root for tonight. The Suns beat the Lakers. Bol has entered the rotation just randomly all of a sudden.
Randomly.
Now he's getting minutes, and he is a specimen.
Yeah.
When you see him out there.
Played really well the other night. I think he had 25 or something like that the other day. Yeah, he is something. He's really something to watch. I don't know if it's kind of depends on the night you see him, whether it's going to be good or bad, but he's definitely intriguing, and we'll see if it works. That's what I'll say. We'll see if it works.
We will see if it works, but they're trying to make it work for now. Pretty quiet today, only a 4-game slate as far as pocket watching is concerned. There's really no Western Conference action besides, obviously, the Kings and the Grizzlies taking on the Nets as the Nets head to Memphis. So as the Kings sit in the 5 seed, they do control a lot of their destiny, and you want to hope that they take advantage of it. The Kings are the only Western Conference playoff team in action tonight. They can move to a half game ahead of Phoenix and New Orleans if they win, and then I would assume obviously those teams will play tomorrow. Looking at tomorrow's slate, you have the Warriors heading to Washington, D.C. to take on the Wizards. You would assume they take care of business there. The Mavericks at Cavs. Let's go. Your other boy, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, help us out here. Kind of a tough slate for the pocket watching. Mavs have to go to Cleveland. The Pelicans have to go to New York to take on the Knickerbockers. And that's basically it.
Right.
That's basically it in terms of tough matchups.
Ooh, Miami's on the first night of a back-to-back tonight. They play tomorrow in Portland.
There you go.
That's interesting enough.
Yeah, so we'll see who they have tomorrow night, but we really don't care.
Nope.
We know who they do not have tonight, so the Kings have an opportunity to get a half game ahead of Phoenix and New Orleans. And Phoenix, man, it really just feels like whenever I turn on, and we talked about the strength of schedule, whenever I turn on the TV and the Suns are playing, it's not an easy game.
No, never. I mean, it's always really, really close, and it more times than not comes down to Devin Booker and KD pretty much winning it for them. And Grayson Allen's been good for him for sure this year as well. But more times than not, it comes down to the stretch and KD and Book just hitting tough shots, and it's a good formula for regular season when it's beating, the Lakers and okay to bad teams, but I just don't think this formula is not going to last long in the playoffs. And the fact that they have not gotten many games even still out of Bradley Beal, Booker, and KD on the floor at the same time, I just have a tough time seeing this thing coming together. I mean, this was the conversation with Phoenix literally at this point last year too. It was, okay, they have their team. Now imagine what it's going to be like when KD's healthy and he joins. And what ended up happening is KD never got healthy, and the team in general never got healthy, and it wasn't good enough to win. They were a good team, but when they went up against an eventual champion in the Nuggets, there was levels to it. And I still feel like that's going to be the case with Phoenix. I just maybe it's because the Kings have played them really well, but they just don't really put the necessary fear that I thought they would have had this year. And you said it perfectly earlier. They're in the same position as the Kings, and they've earned it too. Like we think that the Kings are the only team out here tricking off games and not living up to expectations. Phoenix has just as much, if not more, expectation on them, and hasn't lived up to really any of it all year.
No, and they're doing this. To be honest, I know Bradley Beal, he might be a little, I might be selling him a little bit short, but what they've got from and what they have been able to work with Grayson Allen, he hit 6 threes again yesterday. You got to think that's some found money with Grayson Allen, and obviously he could always shoot even going back to Duke. But I don't think the Suns were expecting to get this out of Grayson Allen, who obviously came over to to Phoenix. So they've even underperformed with some found money, and they're still in a position to get in. But yeah, we did pretenders and contenders last week. I still don't know where to put the Suns, and the Kings have them one more time, I believe.
Yes, they do.
And I don't necessarily want to see them anymore.
Right.
But yeah, they are what you would call, to me, if somebody's going to say Sabonis is empty calories,
man,
I think the Suns are more so empty calories than anything else.
Yeah.
It's fun basketball when one of them is going, but I don't think it's sustainable at all.
No, yeah, I definitely don't either. And I think they're a fun team to watch for sure. Again, Devin Booker and KD down the stretch is a marvel to watch. We saw it firsthand. Devin Booker hit some crazy shots down the stretch, but at the end of the day, it's a team game, 5 people on the court for a reason. And, when you're out here playing Chimezie Metu, not that they've done that in a while, but, when you're playing Bull, really, I mean, the fact that they're this late in the season and saying, hey, can Bull give us anything? I think that's really telling that team has no depth at all. And, they haven't really bought in on the defensive end, like as a Frank Vogel staple. I'm not really afraid of them. I think in the playoffs, the Kings would actually fare really well against them. Of course, that's not even really a possible matchup right now, but I think that Phoenix is, they just aren't the team that I think everyone expected.
4 or 5 is the only.
We'll see.
Only thing.
Even then, if Booker goes down, if KD goes down, they're my first choice to maybe slip into that 9 or 10 spot, and maybe the Lakers or the Warriors can move up ahead of them. But I just have been left very unimpressed with Phoenix this year. And frankly, I really thought that they were going to be the team that had the easiest time. I believed that they were going to roll through the regular season. I thought they would find their toughest times in the postseason, but they just haven't looked good at all this year.
Yeah, Wednesday you have, as we talk about the 4 seed and whether or not it's possible for the Kings to get there. Obviously, we understand they have to take care of business, but this is what's upcoming for the Clippers, Chris. You host the Lakers. Host is in air quotes. You host the Wizards, so you think you're definitely going to get that Wizards game. Then after that, the Clippers have to go to Minnesota, and then they have to go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
After that, then they get a little bit of a break. They head to Houston, and then they host the Bulls. Then they play
back to it. Right?
Oddly enough,
weird schedule.
They play the Bucks. They host the Bucks, and then they host the T-Wolves. So that's pretty random. And that first time when they're on the road, that is a road back-to-back. So Sunday they are at the T-Wolves. They're in Minnesota. And then Monday they're in Milwaukee.
That's incredibly tough. And then I'm looking at it the next weekend that the Bulls Bucks is also a back-to-back. And then they play on Tuesday as well. So they're going to be playing 3 games in 4 nights. Look out, man. I think the Clippers are definitely, you might have just seen the beginning of the cracks starting to show with Paul George missing a game.
That was a late scratch, right?
It was a very late scratch.
So does that mean, what does that mean, right? If it's a late scratch, that tells you that he was close, and maybe could have went. So
right, but maybe at the end of the day wasn't quite good enough.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, with those amount of back-to-backs, do you want him playing in those back-to-backs? And we're talking about Paul George, who is the healthier one of that Kawhi-Paul George relationship. And Kawhi has been incredibly healthy, probably been under-talked about how much Kawhi has played this season. But, yeah, I don't think Kawhi Leonard's going to be playing 75 games this year. I just have a tough time seeing it. James Harden down the stretch is going to need some rest. Maybe Russell Westbrook is the kind of guy who can elevate his game for a couple weeks and keep that team afloat. But the Clippers, I think the Clippers at this point, they've played their best basketball earlier in this year. I talked about it yesterday. They might, part of playoffs, any sport, baseball, they talk about it all the time, football a little bit, but not as much, but still a bit, peaking at the right time, right? Like you want to be peaking kind of like the Kings are right now. They're trending towards playing their best basketball at the end of the year. The Clippers played great basketball really the last 2.5 months. With that team and how it's constructed and the guys that are out there, I kind of feel like they're going to barely, they're just going to survive the rest of this season, get into the playoffs, and then just hope they're healthy. I think there's a good chance that the Clippers do kind of drop some games here. I know they have a bit of an easier schedule down the stretch, like later in the year, but right here they can really mess around and end up. You don't want to fall into that 5, 6, 7, 8 path here. It's brutal. The Kings and Mavericks are only separated by a half game, and that's 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. If you had another team in there, it's going to be brutal.
No, that's a great point. There's so many teams in the West, and why it's so convoluted is because there are a lot of teams that feel like they have that star power and that feel like all we have to do is get in and we will give ourselves a good chance to get it done. There's just too many of those teams. Not all of you are going to be able to get it done. When we get back discussing Keegan Murray and the evolution of his defense and how it has affected him offensively, and we rank the duos in the Western Conference. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I just can't control my feet.
Coming to the venue at Thunder Valley, March 30th. World One presents The Jacksons with Sister Sledge. Tickets available now at the Thunder Valley box office, Ticketmaster.com, and World1Presents.com.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, Aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray. I think we'll hear a good bit of that tonight, as Keegan won't have to deal with chasing around Jimmy Butler, okay, or Terry Rozier. You just have Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez, and whoever else the Heat can come up with as those guys, Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier, Thomas Bryant, Nikola Jović, all out as they take on the Kings with who they have available. Tyler Hero as well, out. It did look like, or it hasn't been reported yet, Chris, does that mean that Josh Richardson is probably playing? And he is a known Kings killer.
I believe that last time I saw, he was questionable, I believe. Right. I don't know.
When everybody put out Hero and Rozier, they did not say anything about Josh Richardson.
According to Sactown Sports, is out.
He's out too.
Out with the shoulder.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's out too.
Yep.
So they're all out, and Keegan Murray hopefully can get going offensively. I know, Chris, we were checking out an article written by our guy, Hunter Patterson, who got to sit down with Keegan Murray and chat about some things. What were your takeaways?
Yes, I was just reading it. I highly recommend the article for anybody who just loves Kings basketball and especially loves Keegan. Our guy Hunter did sit down with Keegan and actually got to speak with him specifically on just how his evolution has gone. Some of the things that stuck out, some of the highlights for me was definitely Hunter talked. He starts off the article talking about really how Keegan gained a lot of his confidence and where a lot of this came from. He credited guarding De'Aaron in this offseason, which we've talked about before. And, just how going against De'Aaron Fox every single day in one-on-ones, what that would do for, really essentially saying, I've gone against this guy. I'm not afraid of, no disrespect, I'm not afraid of what Darius Garland's going to do to me because I already know he's not as fast as De'Aaron. He's frankly just not as good as De'Aaron. And so kind of how that helped, and then guarding Steph Curry early in the season in that game, I think it might have been the Klay Thompson game winner, but really just Keegan guarding Steph, getting a couple steals on him, really just gave him the confidence to, again, it's reassuring just to say, I know I put in a ton of work this offseason. This is the fruition of that work. These are the fruits of the labor. And really, again, if you feel like you can guard the fastest guy in the NBA and then the best shooter in the NBA, you kind of can cover just about everybody in every situation. So really just talking about how Keegan has used that to gain confidence. He's on pace right now to average more points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and have a higher field goal percentage than he had last year. He's got the second best defensive rating on the team. And I was just getting into where Hunter starts to write about how there are tangible numbers to see Keegan's impact. In 2 matchups this year against Luka, Luka has a combined 14 points when guarded by Keegan Murray, 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. And then my guy Donovan Mitchell as well, when guarded by Keegan, combined 17 points, 6 of 15 in their 2 matchups this year. So it's real. It's a very, very real thing. And not a lot of, outside national media talking about it, but there are legitimate numbers, and it backs it up with the eye test to show Keegan Murray's taken a legitimate leap on the defensive end. And when you pair that with the fact in his first year, he was quite literally the most prolific 3-point shooter of a rookie in NBA history, that tells me that in year 3, you're probably going to get some crazy combination of both. And, what we're seeing right now is great, but it's all about development and what's happening next with Keegan. And I think the bigger point that I'm taking away from this article is what's coming next from Keegan is going to be really scary for the NBA. If he can really be a two-way player on the level that they're hoping he can be. That's how this team takes a serious leap without anybody expecting them to.
The Keegan clamps are real. The Keegan clamps have been real throughout this season. Obviously, hasn't looked the same offensively, but that's exactly what Chris is alluding to. And if you've been listening to this show, you know how we talk about it being the cocoon season, the cocoon year for Keegan Murray. And what I've seen lately that I've noticed is looks like he's making it a point to take mid-range jump shots. Earlier in the season, I didn't see a lot of those. It was, I'm going to take a three if it's open. We're going to get to the cup. It feels like, I don't know if somebody said something to him, but hey, maybe he works on them and he's knocking them down. And people said, hey, you haven't really been utilizing this in the game. You can get these whenever they're available to you. I think that mid-range jump shots are one of the more confusing shots and how they're viewed or how it's viewed in basketball, because a lot of people say, it doesn't really make any sense. You might as well shoot a three and things like that. But sometimes it can get you going. Yeah. And if you can't always get to the cup, we've seen Keegan yam on multiple people this year and get to the cup. But if you're not able to do that, now you're talking about a scorer at every level. Yep. And everybody wants somebody like that. There are a lot of guys that are 3-and-D. There are a lot of guys that can shoot the three ball. And if you can't get to the cup, you really don't have anything else. Now you're talking about the Kings going into next season, assuming they bring back Malik Monk, who also can have a mid-range jump shot, and he's got that floater working. Now you have three-level scorers, because I'm not counting Sabonis, because I wouldn't necessarily call him a three-level scorer, but you have three-level scorers on top of having Sabonis as your big. Now that's scary stuff, and you're getting improved defense from De'Aaron Fox and the aforementioned Keegan Murray. Next, we're not putting the cart before the horse, and we want to see what happens this season, but what the Kings are building. And that's why I said Tim Legler, all these guys who you're hoping that you don't really have to know that much about the Kings because they're going to disappear. They're not going to. No. So you better do your homework now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not quite there on Keegan being a 3-level scorer. I frankly think around the rim, he's got miles to go still in that element. He can dunk, but if he's not dunking the ball, his layup package is not it. I think I have a great soundbite from earlier in the year where I think it was the ESPN Philly game, and they quote De'Aaron as saying, "Keegan, last season you were the worst finisher in the league." And that might be a bit of a hyperbole, but it's not far off. If you see him in fast break, he's like a deer in the headlights.
I'm getting caught up in the dunks.
Yeah. No, but it's part of it. I mean, it's a good step. You have to have that threat. And Monty, when Keegan was drafted, had a kind of infamous quote now where he said, in college, he dunked everything, every single, his dunk percentage, I think he brought up, which is a number I've never heard before, but said in terms of his attacks, 90% of his drives finished in dunks, and just crazy things like that. He's still got to work on that, and the mid-range is coming. The mid-range, I think, is going to be the next part. He's kind of working his way in, which is not typically how it's done, but I think that there's real hope for him in that department. And you're completely right, though. I mean, everything you said is still true. If the Kings can go into next season with 3 guys who are a threat to be scorers at each level, that's dangerous. And that's just not something that really any team in the NBA has. It's the point of getting the 3 superstars is that you have 3 guys who are capable of doing that. Not many teams can find that out of a couple role players, which I would still kind of put Malik and Keegan in right now.
Yeah, I think that everything Keegan is doing is he's not just he's not just playing right now, he's playing for future Keegan Murray as well.
Light years ahead.
We're trying to get there. And Keegan is a huge part of it. When other teams are starting to game plan now, though, it does feel like Harrison Barnes, dare I say, and Kevin Huerter might come up on their list before Keegan, which sounds nuts.
Right where we want him, though.
But yes, and look, tonight could be a great night for Keegan shooting the basketball just because he doesn't have to deal with Jimmy or Tyler Hero defensively. But the idea of trusting Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes in a series, if this is the Keegan that he's going to be, I'll be honest, It doesn't make me extremely
Wasn't good
excited.
enough last year.
Yeah. I don't feel extremely confident from that.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what it's going to be. We could be wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe Keegan shows back up. But
Right. That's maybe the hope, because you're right. Last year in the playoffs, that's what the Kings did. They relied on HB and Kevin to kind of play up to a certain standard, and they did not at all. And you could argue that was really the thing that did the Kings in, because Keegan was a rookie. You can't expect Keegan to walk into his first playoff series in his first season and have an impact. He later did. He probably later had the third or fourth best postseason of any of the Kings on the roster. But, it's a scary situation. I guess you can maybe say it's a chance at redemption, but I think the Kings' plan at the beginning of the year was to have Keegan up to a level where they could rely on him to that level. But I think we've just seen this year up to this point, the Kings have just been a better team when they rely on Kevin Huerter and HB to be their third and fourth option, or fifth and sixth option. It hasn't been super reliable all year, but I think the Kings today are a better team when Kevin and HB are more involved than Keegan. But definitely in terms of long-term success, Keegan being that reliable third or fourth option is how this Kings team gets where they want to go.
Tim Legler says that Sabonis isn't dynamic enough as a second option, comparing that duo to the others. Is he right? We'll discuss, and we'll rank the duos in the Western Conference when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd taste the 2 sweet but tiny tomatoes you grew all by yourself. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when you're riding your motorcycle, protected by Progressive, on your way to the store for a pack of normal-sized tomatoes. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without getting your hands dirty. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Meda Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Meda Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's try. $16,000 finance with finance for GM.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Ranking the Western Conference duos. Earlier in the season, maybe before the season even started, we definitely did a list where people have ranked all the duos, but specifically the Western Conference duos and where the Kings stack up with De'Aaron and Sabonis. You have the T-Wolves, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Kings, the Pelicans, the Suns, the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Warriors. So out of the top 10, I think is probably the easiest way.
Feels safest
to do this. So let's start at the top. You have the T-Wolves, and you have it basically we'll do it King of the Mountain. And that is how we'll figure out where De'Aaron and Sabonis end. So right now, De'Aaron and Sabonis are number 1, right?
Okay.
So now you have Anthony Edwards and
I guess Gobert
over Cat.
I think so, just because their defense is number 1 in the NBA, and a large part of that is because of Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you would specifically attribute Towns to.
Okay. Are you bumping Fox and Sabonis to number 2 for that duo?
It's about a push, but maybe you give maybe you give them the advantage. Are we just going blanket? We're just saying
just blanket.
Okay. No tie-ins or anything else. I think taking away the Kings glasses, I would probably take Ant and Gobert over Fox and Sabonis.
What?
I think so. I think you have to, because Ant is so young, potential face of the NBA, and could be a top 5 player in the NBA in the next year. And then Gobert is the best defender in the NBA. And kind of like we said earlier, for as good as Sabonis is offensively, I would argue Gobert is that good defensively. And the same is true for the shortcomings.
Okay, so you got him at 2. I still got Sabonis.
That's fair.
Fox
I think that's a really, really close one, though. That's incredibly close.
I feel like Gobert, though, is similar to Sabonis because he gets exposed in the playoffs.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
So, all right, you got them.
It's
2
more.
now?
I think I'm more just taking Ant over Fox in that situation, but just barely. Barely.
Next one, actually pretty interesting. The Thunder.
It's really interesting. I guess. I mean, it's definitely Shea.
Chet? Jalen Williams.
I would personally put Jalen Williams right here, right now, but I think Chet very easily, by the start of next season. We'll just put Chet. I think we'll put Chet in here just because that's a little bit easier. And there, I'm gonna take the Kings duo more so because I think the gap from Sabonis and Chet today, right now, is bigger than the gap from Shea and De'Aaron, which I think is there, but I think it's really, really marginal.
Okay, so right now I still have I have Kings, I have Sabonis and Fox 1, and then I would have Ant, Gobert 2.
Okay, and
then Shea and Jalen 3.
Yeah,
I think.
It's all of them are really, really close, because you could even argue, Legler's argument was about versatility. You could argue Chet is more versatile than Sabonis, and you can go on and nitpick, but I think overall you're good there.
Number 3, the Nuggets. You have Jamal Murray and Jokic, and now I'll probably there. Okay, now I have them number 2. The Fox and Sabonis number 2.
I've got Fox and Sabonis 3.
Okay,
yeah.
Clippers, Kawhi and Paul George. Are
we saying when healthy here? I think this is the only time where we have to give the caveat of 100% health.
So then I'm bumping Sabonis and Fox down to 3.
They're definitely moving down for sure. So I have them as 4.
Next, they have are the Kings. So I have them 3 right now. Suns, you have KD and Booker
as a duo, I'm starting my franchise with that.
Yeah.
I am.
You don't have a choice.
Yep.
So now I have Fox and Sabonis as 4.
I have them as 5.
And I'm pretty sure that's where they're going to stay unless you feel any differently about you have the Pelicans, Zion and Brandon. I'm not moving them. Don't you dare.
If we're saying healthy about the Clippers, again, I don't know if we're doing start a franchise.
Chris.
I like the versatility. I really like building my teams with forwards. Like I think that's a surefire
Not
way
the
of
Pelicans.
being in
They're
contention.
sworn enemies.
Look at this Pelican play.
Hey man, Pelicans 4-0 against the Kings this year. Like results speak for themselves. I'm again, it's really, really close. I think it more so speaks to the depth in this conference. But if you're just telling me the 2 of Zion and BI versus Fox and Sabonis, I think it's close. Since we're on Sacramento Airways, I'll give Fox and Sabonis the clearing, but I think that's a very, very close 1-2 matchup. And
so you have them 5th now.
I think I have them 6th now. Oh, I'm sorry. If I give them the clearance over, yes, then I have them 5th. If I give them over BI in Zion, but that's
okay.
That's really believing.
Well, then at this point, what are they going to be? Because I know you're taking Luka and Kyrie.
I sure would think about it. Kyrie's probably anchoring them a bit there, but it's close. I don't love those 2 specifically working off of each other, but that's a really talented combo. I'll take Fox and Sabonis over them, but that's a really talented
you have them
combo.
Still locked in at 5.
Yeah.
And I still have them locked in at 4. Lakers. Now this is where it gets funny because it's LeBron and AD, but that's really it right now.
Yeah. We're just doing duos though.
If we're just doing duos,
they're better. They are. I mean, I don't know if LeBron versus Fox 1-for-1 when LeBron's 39 years old now.
That's what I'm saying.
What is that?
Though.
But Anthony Davis is everything. Anthony Davis can do everything.
Again, I've seen Sabonis impress me more than Anthony Davis. Multiple times.
I think if it depends, I don't know. I mean, Legler's argument was versatility, and you do not get more versatile at the big man spot than Anthony Davis. You can play him. He can take mid-range jumpers. I don't love him taking threes, but he can take threes. He's still one of the best defenders at that position in the NBA. If we're just taking duos, it's tough to not take the greatest player of this generation and maybe the most versatile big that we've seen. So,
not at 39 though.
Not at 39, but even then, he's not too shabby. That guy, he's not very bad. He's still putting up near triple double. It's still doing his LeBron 26, 7 and 7 or whatever, and he's still leading his team at 39. So it's close. It's close.
And last but not least, the Warriors. What is this now?
No, this
Steph
is Steph and
Draymond.
Yeah, it's Kuminga.
Steph and Kuminga. It's actually Steph and Kuminga.
This season, it has been Steph and Kuminga.
Yeah, and there's no way.
And there's no way. That's
I would turn your mic
that's
off.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I would turn your mic off.
It's great to say. I would love to say it even again. The Warriors have the worst duo of the top 10 in the Western.
They
right
definitely
now,
do.
in the
And
Western
it's
Conference.
actually
it's not
the
even
only
close,
reason
really.
it's kind of close is because of Steph.
Right, I guess, right. Because you could say probably Dallas would be the next lowest, and even then it's like, Luka's doing a lot of heavy lifting
You're
there
high
too.
on those Pelicans, man.
Zion Williamson is still Zion. I can't quit Zion also. Like, I just can't. I refuse to believe. I know he's just like, he's 30 pounds away from taking over the NBA. That's just how it is. And whenever that happens, like and even then, even right here today, the dude is crazy talented, putting up ridiculous numbers. And Brandon Ingram is one hell of a shot maker. I don't know how much of those two playing off of each other is good for one another, but I think Brandon Ingram as an individual talent is more than capable of being an all-star.
I'm not putting De'Aaron and Sabonis under top 5. I got them at 4, and I'm not budging.
I have them at 5, yeah.
Just based on gameplay versus theory. I feel like you're doing a lot of in theory. Pelicans in theory. Mavericks in theory.
But I think even the Kings is in theory. Like, what if the
has the pairing?
But what in practice has the combination of Sabonis and Fox accomplished that has them higher than guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron, guys like, Steph or KD and Book.
But if you want some of the legacy, then I'll give you legacy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you the legacies. Basically, my problem is the Pelicans.
But here today, De'Aaron has been up and down.
Yeah.
Sabonis is great. Sabonis is fantastic. I'm not even going to speak bad about him, but there's a couple other centers out there. And again, if we're talking about versatility, I just think some of those guys, provide a little bit more positionless basketball than what Sabonis does. I personally think that if you have AD in there, you don't have to worry about every worry that you have about Sabonis being out there as a center by himself, you just don't have with guys like AD. You don't have it as much with a guy like Jokic because of what he can provide offensively. You definitely don't have it with Gobert. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like there's other guys that provide great things as well. And then their partners, it's no shot at De'Aaron. I'm telling you, this is more just a sign at how ridiculous the Western Conference is.
No, I hear you on that. And originally, I know we got to get to a break, but originally when we spoke about this comparison in this list, it was, okay, let's assume health. If we were to do this exercise again and not assume health, are you still taking, that's what I'm saying, in practice and not in theory, Clippers? Then I don't know what to do with the Clippers.
Yeah.
I just
don't know what to do with them.
I don't know what to do with the Clippers or the Suns, really.
Yeah, or the Pelicans. Absolutely.
You've been able to depend on the Kings duo more than some of the duos that you might have ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that's why it's tough.
I was just going talent for talent.
No, I hear you. But not today.
That's true. Not today. Today was not the day.
But that's the rule that's the rule that we set. When we get back, we will discuss the Kings and what they have to do to come out victorious against the Heat. We also have Fair Foul coming up. And don't forget, we are giving away tickets to see the Jacksons and Sister Sledge in about 4 minutes. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Get huge savings on our best selection of new Hondas during our Honda President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the good feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers, the No Surprise guys. We love that old song, Respect. You know, RESPECT. It's a good song and a good business philosophy. At Bell Brothers, everything we do is designed to show respect for our customers. We show up on time out of respect. Our technicians are clean-cut, friendly, and wear identification badges out of respect. We do good deeds for free for our customers and leave their homes cleaner than we found them. That's right, out of respect. So, if you want plumbing and AC service from a company that will show you some RESPECT, call Bell Brothers. We promise to respect your time, your home, and you. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Or call if you have plumbing problems. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Boot Barn is committed to supporting those who uphold the Western way of life. Denim plays a major role as a robust material that holds strong in a rugged environment. Since 1947, the Wrangler Authentic Western jeans have brought long-lasting denim to all who embrace the cowboy lifestyle. Boot Barn is proud to support this bold legacy, one that's just as iconic now as it was then. Wrangler at Boot Barn.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Please.
Caller number 5, caller number 5, caller number 5 to score that pair of tickets. Check out the Jacksons and Sister Sledge at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort March 30th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Looking for caller number 5, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Looking for caller number 5. Your tickets to see the Jacksons and Sister Sledge.
Now you said the Jacksons, as in the
Jacksons.
The Jacksons?
The Jacksons and Sister Sledge. We are family.
Okay.
That is
That's
March
no joke.
30th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. If you want a chance to get your tickets, looking for call number 5, 916-339-1140.
Man.
On the Folsom Lake Honda hotline and Folsom Lake Honda text line as well. From the 209, Chris is so jaded, like all of us Kings fans. But dang, you guys talk about the national media slander and then turn around and say you'd rather have LeBron and AD over Fox and Sabonis. See, the LeBron and AD thing For me, but it's let's rephrase that. We are the bad boys of the midday. But let's rephrase that. Is it you'd rather? The question was just ranking them.
Yes.
Right? There's so many different ways to take this because it could be who would you rather have for the next 5 years? Who would you rather have going into the playoffs?
Yep.
But just
starting a franchise.
Because rather means that you like them better. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying pound for pound duos. Yeah. Where would you rank them? Who do you think is better and for what reasons? Rather sounds like I like them more. I don't know if it's a matter of that, if that makes sense.
I definitely don't prefer Anthony Davis's style of play, that's for sure. Don't enjoy my players every single time they hit the ground, wondering if this is the last time they're ever going to hit the ground. Don't enjoy that a lot. LeBron, I love LeBron's style of play and what he's done, but I don't enjoy the theatrics that come along with it. I would not say I would rather have them, but absolutely. I just think heading into a playoff series is more how I was thinking it. If you have those two as your best two, what do I feel like your odds are of winning the series? And even then, I still feel like maybe, there's conversations to be had for some of those other guys. Like I think Luka is a guy who can elevate you in a playoff series more so than some other guys. So I think it's kind of, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but for the most part, I think, you had them at 4, I had them at 5. I think regardless of getting lost in the semantics of it all, the Kings aren't the worst duo for sure. They're not even really particularly close in both of our lists. And more so, they are incredibly competitive just with those two. I think the thing that the Kings have working in their advantage, frankly, more so than some of those other teams, which is why I kind of have to tend them a little bit further down, is Kings have a really good team. Like besides Fox and Sabonis, that's what makes them able to compete at the level with some of those other teams that have clear head and shoulders better duos. Is Kevin Huerter is a really solid player. Not a lot of teams have a third or fourth or fifth guy to the level of Kevin Huerter. HB, Keegan, Malik, it goes down the list. Like I think the Kings have a lot of helpful contributors that frankly, a lot of these other teams, they just don't have. Like it's on KD and Book every single night to bring that team a win. If either of those two are down, they're probably not going to win that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. This is from the 209 as well. Who has a better career, a D Rose that was never injured or an AD that was never injured?
Probably AD, but even then, D Rose is, that's the ultimate one, right? Like,
yeah.
If D Rose never gets hurt, he won MVP at like 24 or 25. Like, we could be talking about right now is the decline of Derrick Rose. Like, I bet D Rose is probably 34, maybe 35 right now. Like, you're talking about a guy who could have gone. The interesting thing, here's an interesting spin on that. What does Steph Curry's career look like if D Rose is out here? I don't like more as D Rose taking championships. Are they going head to head? Of course, they do it completely different styles, but like, I wonder if D Rose is at the top of his game, how much of the best point guard in the league conversation is had. And, frankly, how many championships does D Rose have? Not only does that take from Steph, but that directly takes from Braun too. It's a big what if for sure.
It is. I'd probably say AD because D Rose is weird because I always say these high flyers remind me of running quarterbacks, and they all have a bit of a shelf life.
Yes,
and
that's what I was going to say too. Is almost bound to get hurt.
Yeah,
right?
You don't. It's just not possible to play like that for a long duration.
20 years. Yeah.
Right. Now he could have had a longer career, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe he gets 1 or 2 chips depending on who they put around him. But the game was changing as well, going into more 3-point shooting.
Really
Part of that is because of Steph. So yeah. So I would say AD, but yeah, I think it would be close either way. Also have another what if for you since we're already on the category. Russell Wilson was on, I believe it was the I Am Athlete pod with Brandon Marshall, and Russell Wilson tells Brandon Marshall that he wants 2 more Super Bowl wins over the next 5 years. He says, I quote, want to feel the chill of that trophy again.
Okay.
And the look on Brandon Marshall's face. We all have that friend that just got crazy goals. And you really do. I might be that friend to some of my friends, to be completely honest with you. And you don't really know what to say when they say something.
Yeah.
Go look up Brandon Marshall's face after Russell says that, because he just is frozen in time for about 2.5 seconds. Here's my question. More likely to happen.
Okay.
The Kings win a championship with Sabonis and Fox as the 1-2, or Russell Wilson gets, honestly, I would say one within the next 5 years.
Even an appearance.
I'll give you an appearance. One more Super Bowl for Russell Wilson over the next 5 years, or the finals, the NBA championship coming home to Sacramento with Sabonis and Fox. So what, over the next 5 to 7 years, what is more likely to happen?
I'm not even going to give Russ the out of like, oh yeah, he could be a backup somewhere. No, Russell Wilson being the starting quarterback.
He has to start.
I'm giving the Kings in a landslide.
Yeah,
I
don't even
cannot
think it's
see it happen. There's no way.
And he said, he went on to say he wants to stay in Denver, even though they don't want him in Denver. I don't know. What's interesting to me is it looks like the Bucks are about to give Baker Mayfield the bag.
Yep.
So they don't even think, they didn't even really, and it's not, Baker played well, but you would think that if Russ, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, if Russ had something, maybe they would look for Russ, but yeah.
Vegas is an interesting spot for him.
Vegas? Oh, please, no, don't go to Vegas.
But give Sierra a residency.
Is there anybody, and I don't think so, right? But text line 916-339-1140, Sack Chat. Is there anybody that would take Russ winning the Super Bowl over the next 5 years over the Kings winning with this De'Aaron and Sabonis core? Anyone think that it's more likely? There's no way.
There's just no way. I'm trying to think of like the best situation you could just plop him into realist.
The Jets?
Even then though, like they got Rodgers.
They got to deal with the Bills.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's just no way. Not to mention the fact forget like regular season, playoffs, he would have to get through Patrick Mahomes in some capacity, whether it be him in the AFC or him winning the Super Bowl. I don't see it. I also, to be fair, I don't really, to say the Kings making the finals, I don't really see that, but it's definitely more so in motion.
Oh, over the next 5-6 years,
yeah.
The Kings, you go out, you do some things this offseason, that defense keeps getting better. The Kings can mess around and end up in a finals. That is much more believable than Russell Wilson getting back to a Super Bowl over the next 5 years.
Yeah, the only thing working against the Kings is the past, honestly. And if you're just meeting the Kings at last year,
he's 35, by the way.
Yeah, there's no way.
He's 35.
There's just no way. Especially with all the talent in the AFC, so he would have to go to the NFC. And then even then, like Russell Wilson ain't beating the Niners. I can't. I know there's a checkered history there, but I can't see it. I'm picking the Kings.
There's no way.
I'm picking the Kings.
Yeah, you'd have to pick the Kings. Russell Wilson is 35 years old. And look, you gotta shoot for the moon.
Yeah,
right. What else is he gonna say? But
he could have just said one. He didn't have to say two.
No, he said two.
He did not.
Well, you know
have
what
to
it
say
is.
two.
That it's always gonna haunt him, that pick against the Patriots.
Of course, yeah.
He should have two.
Yes, he should.
He should have two,
Yeah.
but he doesn't. And I think there are a lot of people that say there's a difference between quarterbacks that have Super Bowls or have won a Super Bowl. Then there's a difference between quarterbacks that have one Super Bowl and multiple. I do think that there are levels to this, and Russ wants to be in that conversation.
Yep.
And this just leads to Russell Wilson wants to win 2 more Super Bowls, and I would like $2 million.
I sure would.
Right
too.
now.
Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it.
Deliver to me right now. It just he's got a chance.
He's also got to get traded too, right? Like it's not like he's a free agent,
Chris.
right? Like
he doesn't have a team.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't think that he's been cut yet. I think the original report
still
he was
have
getting
him,
cut in March.
Yeah, they were supposed.
So
to.
he is still a Denver Bronco.
Yes, to this. Yeah, as it stands right now, but
technically,
we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts.
But, hey,
there's no
shout
way.
out confidence.
Absolutely.
Big shout out confidence. Yes. This is the type of confidence I'm trying to instill in my daughter, right? And by the way,
the baby race training.
By the way, we will get to the update. We did train over the weekend. I have some footage. I'm waiting to drop it. We have footage. We did train.
Bearing the lead.
That's what I'm saying. When we get back, we have some notes on a free agent that is finally signed, an outfielder, and an former Giant who may be going to a NL rival. You hate to see it, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Still got Fair or Foul coming up as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible with new case equipment to qualify, and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying a member of eligible first responder association. 5 with this net savings. Symbol VIN 7000008.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Speaking of Baker Mayfield from Ari Meroff, the Bucks won't use the franchise tag on Baker Mayfield, which would allow him to become a free agent if he wants to. His situation feels very similar to what Seattle had with Geno Smith last year. So I think everyone still believes that he'll stay with the Bucks, but it's just some ins and outs that might be a little bit different than previously expected. Cody Bellinger, one of the Boris boys, has signed. Cody Bellinger has signed with the Cubs on a 3-year, $80 million deal. Bellinger has opt-outs after each of the first 2 years. So basically, this is a bit of a discount for Bellinger, who had been a bit injured with the Dodgers and just had a terrible season. The Dodgers have just new guys every single season. And you got other people playing in center. You got Gavin Lux. You got a bunch of dudes. So the Dodgers moved on. They moved on from Jock, then they moved on from Bellinger. They really don't hold on to these guys. No. Bellinger balls out last season with the Cubs, but due to injury and just not sure if that's – can the real Cody Bellinger please stand up? So this is actually perfect for both sides. It's really a very Farhan type deal if Bellinger was interested, because if Bellinger balls out next season, he can opt out. If he stinks, he can opt in, right? Same thing next season. If he does good again, let me opt out and really chase a bag. Or
at 30, right? Too, yeah.
At 30, or he can say, I stunk again. Just give me my 20 mil. So good deal for that group, both of them, whether it's the Cubs or Cody Bellinger. And I was really surprised that didn't see anything else break since then. I think that was 2 days ago, getting to that ex-Giant. And this is a sad one. And this is how things end sometimes. Yep. And by the way, the Giants signed Nick Ahmed, so they're still looking for a shortstop, which might not make this feel any better, because Brandon Crawford and the St. Louis Cardinals have mutual interest. Nothing signed yet, but if you're going to go get Nick Ahmed, I don't know. I feel that if that's the case, maybe you could have held on to Brandon Crawford in some capacity. So
might be Crawford just wants to play, and maybe the Giants just kind of wanted to have him as a mascot. Almost.
Right. We don't want you. We don't want to, or he doesn't want to be a bridge. Maybe he's being promised more playing time with the Cardinals. So we always wish the best to Bay Boy, Brandon Crawford, but it seems as though it's really over. It's really over. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Brandon Belt's still a free agent.
That's what I was going to say. Wasn't he on the Blue Jays last year?
If somebody would have told you, these guys are going to be available, and the options to bring back, the options were Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt, and Pablo Sandoval. If you
Pablo
pick
looks
Pablo,
great. Hold on.
he does look
Hold
great.
on.
He on something. I mean, he looked good.
Hey, now.
He looked good. Well, he not.
I
No,
was
no,
like, hey,
no.
now,
I mean,
hey, now, hey, now.
no.
Hold
I
on.
mean something to thin him up. You know, he's going the other way.
Ozempic or something.
He's going down because if you saw those pictures in Atlanta, he looks like two different people.
Gosh, yeah,
he looks
like he ate the old Pablo.
Yeah,
Sandoval.
okay. Well, he looks like two different people. More news going around. Phoenix gets the 2027 NBA All-Star Game.
Interesting.
That'll be cool. I mean, get some golf in.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's honestly what it is, right? That's gonna be a great week.
I'm
actually,
thinking I might be going. Well, who's 2026?
So the list is actually the NBA is not so subtly moving towards Utah, Indy, Toronto. Those were fun, but I think we're over it. The next 3 All-Star games are going to be next year in help me out here, Golden State.
Yep.
Then the following season in 26 is going to be, I believe, in LA, and then the season after that is going to be in Phoenix. So they are fully moving to warm weather only for these All-Star games.
People have spoken.
Yeah, I think it's for the best. I mean, these guys are multi-millionaires, and you're gonna have to give them a reason to come to your event. They're not just gonna go to Indiana, into Utah, into freezing Toronto out of the goodness of their hearts anymore. I mean, they're talking about being paid for the game now.
Sorry to interrupt.
you're great.
Which LA are we talking about? Is the new arena going to be erected
Speaking
by them?
of Clippers rebrand,
I don't know if it's official, but
so it looks like
imagine.
it's a ship. The rebrand, is that a ship?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the arena.
No, that would be a dope arena.
I was talking about that for All-Star, but now we
yes.
can make this transition to talk about the new rebrand.
But I do
of
think
the
you're right.
Clippers.
I'm pretty sure it is in Inglewood. I'm fairly
That
sure.
would make sense.
Yes, that's their big unveiling.
Just checking it out here. Yes, the All-Star game is to be at the LA Clippers' new Intuit Dome.
Yes.
And that thing's supposed to be sick.
It's
I've
gonna
seen
be
a lot of
ridiculous.
videos here recently about just the construction of it and all the plans they have. That place is going to be insane. So,
But not their rebranding. Or
You don't like it?
No.
I'm trying to think. Did they even have what was their logo before?
It was an LA with a C in it.
That was it.
The
right.
basketball,
There was no item.
They used to have like a basketball that said Clippers in cursive.
Right.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head.
I think when they were in San Diego, they might have had like a ship mascot, but I believe since they have been in LA, they have not had a logo that represented anything.
I like it, but it also just reminds me of a one of those mini cruise logos to where you want to sail around the bay or you want to head to San Diego.
It's
That's what it
very
reminds me of.
Catalina wine mixer.
It's literally, we did this for our baby moon. I'm pretty sure it was the same logo to go to Catalina. We went to Catalina Island. And I'm pretty sure the logo was exactly the same.
So if I could, these are my favorite things, by the way, the explainers on like jerseys and, this represents our fabled history.
We go. Yeah.
Let's see here. This is from Front Office Sports talking about the logo. So there is like the badge itself, Los Angeles Clippers around the side. They do have a C that circles the ship, and then kind of like the northwest south arrows, I guess, directions
like
in the middle.
Nautical,
yes.
That's the word, compass. Let's see here if there's any great a strong and stylized mark that illustrates movement and precision while paying homage to the team's nautical heritage. Compass cardinal directions pointing north to the N in Los Angeles, providing timeless direction. It's things like that where it's like you just and if you look, I mean, no one would ever say, oh yeah, you know what's crazy too is the compass in the middle does point the north is right at the N in Angeles. That's something that only they would announce in these things. The hull of the ship set off with the seams of a basketball, custom typeface inspired by naval topography. The silhouette of an oncoming ship, a nod to the team's origins in the San Diego harbor.
Yeah, I don't think it looks bad. I just think it looks a little basic to me. It's clean.
It does look like a cruise line.
Yeah, it
You're
looks
right.
like a cruise line. It's clean, but I don't
It's
know.
bad. It's
the Mariner, I mean, Mariner's kind of similar to me, and I would take the Mariners logo over it.
I also
easily.
don't love their colors either. They like turned
They
it
just made
into
it
more.
darker.
It's a darker blue,
I
and
think it's a navy blue. Wouldn't you
Ah,
say? Mm.
there you go, a
Big
nautical
brain.
navy
Big brain.
view. When we get back, all right, it's time. Fair or foul, you are not going to want to miss this rendition of Fair or Foul. Some really, really funny stories. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Fidium Fiber Internet has put together a heck of a lineup. It's 100% fiber internet. You get a dedicated connection and lightning fast upload and download speeds up to 2 gigs. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can join in the action.
Meda Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Meda Chevy savings on new Silverado. Apply at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
I just can't control my feet.
Coming to the venue at Thunder Valley, March 30th. World One presents The Jacksons with Sister Sledge. Tickets available now at the Thunder Valley box office, Ticketmaster.com, and World1Presents.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
The news has already accelerated, and Brandon Crawford will be joining the St. Louis Cardinals. Great career, Brandon Crawford. We know the famous picture of him at the Giants game with a sign. And he had a great career, got to play for the hometown team. Things ended up ending, and Brandon Crawford still believes he has something left in the tank, and so do the Cardinals. So good on Brandon Crawford. We wish him the best as he continues his career. And somebody has, from Giants Twitter, somebody has pictures of former Giants as they end their career with someone else. Tim Lincecum, a picture of Tim Lincecum in an Angels jersey, and Madison Bumgarner in a D-backs jersey, and Brandon Crawford will be the next one. And it will be really, really weird. And I don't know how much he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to start, but they better, if they come to San Francisco, they better let him start. He's got to start one game.
At least one,
because
that would be awesome.
So everybody can just, give him a standing O for all of his work. And that's really it. All right, let's get into fair or foul. First one today on fair or foul. Filipowski on the Duke Blue Devils ends up injuring his ankle while the crowd is being rushed after Duke loses the game. And obviously when you're Duke, they rush the court a lot. Basically every time you lose, they rush the court. And this has started a huge conversation about whether they should end storming the court, whether they should continue. How can you fix it? I guess fair or foul on storming the court at this point.
Yeah, I've heard some interesting takes on it here recently. I think it's fair to storm the court, especially in college and of course in high school too. But I think the bigger conversation has become, this is going to happen. How can teams, schools better prepare for these things to happen? Like, this is not new. It's happened. Caitlin Clark sparked conversation about this earlier this season when they stormed the court after Iowa lost. I just think that, at this point, they just need to have a better handle on, whether it be security for big games or if it's, having ropes that literally separate them from the floor, even if it's just to get them time, because really the problem is you have fans rushing the floor as the players are trying to get off.
Yeah.
All you really need is to get the players off the floor, and then storming the court isn't really an issue.
Yeah, I was watching my beloved Temple Owls.
I did too. I saw that. They were on ESPN this weekend.
Right? They actually won in overtime against Wichita State this weekend. But it was a couple years ago where they were about to beat a ranked team and they stormed the court, but there was a play where the time got added on the clock.
Oh, no.
All the kids had to walk. No. They ended up winning, and then they stormed again, but it didn't have the same
juice,
luster.
Right?
So I don't know if you, as long as you don't go too soon, I think you're right. It's hard for me to call it foul. It's such a staple in basketball. I do think it gets a little overused. That was Wake Forest. I don't know Wake Forest's record. And Duke, they're number 10. Wake Forest is 18-9. Right. The thing about it is they're 18-9. Duke is 21-6.
Yeah,
so
Duke is
Wake
not
Forest
Duke of
isn't
old.
Trash.
Right.
You're 18-9, but it's Duke. So we're always going to storm the court. I do have a lot of. I know you put rules on things and people will get on you about it. But some storming the court is just a little excessive. If you are Peabody State University and you beat Duke or whoever,
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
But there's a little bit too much storming. So I will say fair, but needs tweaked for sure. Simone, where you at on this one?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, big dog. It's fair.
He hurt his knee, though. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. All right, next, Chris, you had something on St. West?
Yes. There was big, I don't know if you call it controversy, but anything that involves the Kardashians is definitely going to get a rise out of people. And this is interesting. As we know, Lionel Messi, now a part of Inter Miami, they played in LA against the LA Galaxy this past weekend. And walking out, it's a tradition in soccer. The players always as they walk out to the field, they walk with usually a kid who's in, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, a local soccer youth league or anything like that. Well, walking out Lionel Messi for the LA Galaxy game was one St. West, Kim and Kanye's 8-year-old child, who is apparently a massive, massive soccer fan, threw a huge party for his 8th birthday. It was soccer themed. All his friends showed up in their favorite soccer jerseys, and I'm sure they had some other crazy expensive soccer related thing at the party. The bigger point is people upset that St. West gets this opportunity over possibly, like I said, somebody in a Boys and Girls Club, someone in a local youth soccer league or anything like that. Would have been a great opportunity from them. People are saying spoiled because the Kardashians essentially have the money and the clout to be able to get their son right next to Lionel Messi.
I'm torn on this one because at some point, the fact that you did basically hit the parent lottery from a financial standpoint shouldn't be held against you.
Right.
But the only
Still
reason
is a kid.
He still is a kid,
8 years
right?
old.
And he should get to experience things. And
I'm sure it made his life.
But I also, the argument against it would be you could probably call Lionel Messi and just have him come to your birthday party.
You might not be able to. I don't know.
Or meet him you can meet him at some point or after
They've
a game.
gotten so many field passes. The kid is a huge fan, so that's definitely
so he's kicked
why.
it with Messi before.
Yeah, like
Okay.
he's been there for the the premiere game, the debut game. Yeah. Like he's been
Has
in
he
there.
walked out before? Or this is the first
No,
time.
I think this was his first time walking
If
out
it's-
with him.
I'm still going to be nice, and if it's the last time, I'll say fair. If it happens again, then you're abusing it. But it's still hard for me to call it fair. I want to call it foul.
I would love to know Chris's answer
It's
here.
definitely not. It's not fair because it's just not that this kid, just because he's, parents are millionaires, can do this situation. But at the same time, he is truly a soccer fan. Like I think I told you, like it might be different if he didn't care about soccer at all, and this was just Kim saying, I want clout. My kid's going to be standing next to Messi. It's going to be a cool thing. I don't care if he enjoys it or not, but this really did make that kid's life. And I know he's going to have tons of opportunities to have his life made probably every month.
Yeah.
But it's, it's kind of, and it's weird saying this about the Kardashians, but it's kind of good parenting. Like it's using what you got to get the best for your kid. Like, I think we're all just kind of jealous that we're not in a situation in which we could do that for our children. So
No, but we have to remember what it is about, creating these different opportunities of equity.
For sure. Absolutely.
I
Because
think
he did in a way take an opportunity away from a kid who this could have been their lifetime achievement or, greatest moment of their life. And
I'm struggling.
It's tough.
I'm struggling because he's clearly clicked it with Messi before. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, I want to call it foul, but if it's the only time, then I guess I'll give him a break here. All right. Moving forward, the Philadelphia 76ers undrafted rookie Ricky Council IV has brought impressive physicality, athleticism, and aggression off the bench for a depleted Sixers squad. This is from NBA University. He's also the younger brother of Ricky Council III, Ricky Council II, and the son of Ricky Council. Is that even how second and thirds work?
No, it's not. It's not.
Fair or foul naming all your sons the same name?
It is the most foul thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
Because isn't Vladdy... Does Vladdy Jr., aren't there two Vladdys? Didn't Vladdy name both of his sons Vladdy, I think?
I can't answer that one.
So Ricky Council has Ricky Council The
Ricky Council,
second,
the original
third,
one, is the father. He has had 3 children.
Yes.
3 boys, at least.
That's right.
All of the boys are Ricky Council as well. Do you just call them Thing 1, Thing 2, Thing 3?
Right.
Ricky R4?
Like, is one
RC,
Ricky, one RC, yeah.
RC2, RC3, RC4?
I know I'm
He's got some
speaking to the
droids
choir,
over there.
but isn't this supposed to be generational? And that's what makes
what
it
it's supposed
so,
to be.
yeah, like
Yes,
that
absolutely.
makes it like incredible. Wow, look, that is
Lineage,
4 or 5
yeah.
generations of this specific name that's lived
Yeah,
on. But
it's foul.
wow, that's real
It's foul. And last but not least, here is a wedding invite. And I'm going to read this quickly,
This
and
is
we'll
terrible.
say whether this is fair or foul. Please arrive for the ceremony at 3:30 in preparation for the ceremony to start promptly at 4. We are overjoyed to extend our heartfelt invitation to you to join us on our special day as we celebrate our love, commitment. Your presence means the world to us. In lieu of traditional wedding gifts, we kindly request that you contribute towards the cost of our reception buffet. This will allow us to share a wonderful meal together and create lasting memories with our loved ones. The cost per adult is $40 and children under 12 is $20. To facilitate the planning process, we kindly ask that you include your contribution when you RSVP. This will help us provide accurate numbers to our venue and ensure a seamless experience for everyone. Please note that the payment can be made by transferring the funds directly to our bank account. Fair foul to instead, and actually now that I reread this, they're not saying don't. They're saying instead of gifts, just pay for your plate. Fair or foul?
I think this is foul. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but if you can't afford to feed your guests, then I think you might need to just wait a little bit.
Hit the courthouse. Just hit the courthouse.
Hit the courthouse or something. I just think, unfortunately, asking your guests to pay to attend your wedding is all kinds of foul.
Paying
all
for their
kinds of
food.
Paying for their own food.
It's crazy.
It's foul to me.
$40 is like
brutal.
But that's like the argument is, I would probably going to give you $100 as a gift
I guess
a gift card or cash. You can't do it, but it might be cheaper. I've never given less than $100 for a wedding gift.
I respect the bold nature of the request. Like, to actually go through and put it on paper that's bold. Like, you have no shame, which I respect in some capacity, but you're not going to catch me dead paying to attend your wedding. I'm sorry.
It just has to be. It just has to be. We'll do the ceremony and we're not doing dinner. I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, this is, we can afford maybe happy hour or some sort of fast hors d'oeuvres going around, but we can't afford to put plates on tables, then we just can't do that.
Can't do it.
Putting this in the invitation is just, I'm like hiding from it right now. What is smart casual, by the way? Dress code smart casual? Did you guys peep that?
Yeah, I saw that.
What is that?
It reminds me of Tech Bro. Dress like Brock Purdy. Dress like Brock Purdy.
Cole's finest?
Cole's cash.
Dress like Brock Purdy and pay for your own plate. When we get back.
No way.
That was a great fair foul. When we get back, prop talk and dog segment. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. Own the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Time for Prop Talk.
Prop segment.
And Dog segments. And I think we did one very quickly because we knew the game was going to be on Sunday. And we couldn't do Prop Talk because the game wasn't up yet. So now, I'll be honest with you. This is a game where if the Kings take care of business, you would think that nobody would hit because they should not be playing the whole game. But you never know. You never know. But I'm telling you right now, I hope I don't take anybody's thunder, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going Keegan Murray, and I'm going to keep going Keegan Murray until he figures it out. They actually have moved him up. He's at 14 points. Yesterday, he was at 12.5, and he did not hit. And now he's at 14 points. So I feel a little bit less good about that now. Yes, but I'm going to stick with it. I got Keegan, 14 points over.
I like it. You can put that one down here. Keegan, 14 points for Alan Stiles.
Mm-hmm.
Saying over. Okay. All right.
Yes.
I mean, what I think he had 16. Did he have 16 yesterday? 14, 12. I can't remember what Keegan ended up with.
I thought he was under. Maybe
he was definitely under yesterday. Yeah. I just couldn't remember exactly where he finished. I'm tempted to go Kevin Huerter. I'm seeing his is at 11.5. I think Huerter is going to have probably with Tyler Hero not playing tonight. You're probably going to see a lot of Duncan Robinson, which is a bit of a favorable matchup for Huerter. Man, I'm also looking at even Sabonis here, 19 points. His projected line is insane. 19 points, 13.5 rebounds, 9 assists for Sabonis going against, Bam's really their only star player that they're going to have out there. Not saying Sabonis isn't going to go crazy tonight. Not going to say he's not going to handle Bam, but just kind of feels like, when Bam's going to have such a huge importance on him, I just kind of don't want to go that route. I think I'm going to go Kevin Huerter. I'm going to go Kevin Huerter over 11.5 points. That feels safe to me.
Okay.
Because I feel like even there's potential that Huerter could check in late in the game and maybe get some of those, garbage time points, if you will.
Okay. Simone,
I think I'm going to double up. This is kind of giving away my dog, too. But give me Domantas Sabonis on the over, please.
Okay.
I think we're going to be cooking. I got a theory.
But I don't know how long they should be cooking. Right? I don't want them to cook. I don't want them to play in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I want this thing to be over.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes this exercise so difficult. Not, if you're actually putting money down, like, it's tough to try and figure out, like, okay, so, but in order to get to a point in which they're clear and they're clear of any, any craziness going on, you could argue, okay, well, De'Aaron probably is going to have to get 25 to 30 points, or, so it's
somebody
you're
will.
More
Exactly.
Will. That's the thing, is you're trying to figure out in a game like this, who's going to be the one. A lot of the time, if it's going to be a contested game, there's a good spread that, okay, yeah, he can eat here, he can eat here, he can eat in this area. But when it's supposed to kind of be a blowout, it's almost like, yeah, there's only probably going to be one, maybe two guys who pop, and then everybody else is just going to trickle in their contribution. So it's tough.
It's tough. It is tough, but that is the situation, and we are sticking to it. Yeah, to me, to your point, it's either going to be Herter or Keegan. It probably won't be both. One of us will be right.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was both, though?
It could be. It could be. It could be. All right, there you have it. Alan with Keegan over points, Chris with Herter over points, Simone with Sabonis over points. All three of us will not be right.
Hey, you don't know that.
I just don't know what combination is going to be right. Or we all will be right and I will be wrong, and I'll be good with that as well. All right. Time for the dog segment. Get in your dogs, 916-339-1140. Get in your dogs on the text line. Get in your dogs on the Sack Chat. Who is going to ball out tonight? And Simone, we'll go with you because we think you already have your person. I found my person. Who is your dog
Have
tonight?
either of you guys seen Game of Thrones?
Yes. Yes.
The big mountain that's in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
That's going to be one Domantas Sabonis tonight. And unfortunately, Bam's going to be on the floor as young Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, the Viper.
Yes, the Red Viper.
Yes.
And I just think it's going to be a game of big men, and that's my dog of the game.
Watch your
It'll be
head.
Mauling fools.
Watch your head.
Yeah, there you go.
That was
Chris,
one of the most
go?
gruesome scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
I stopped after season 1. I got to be honest.
What?
Why would you do that?
Basic. How can I say this? I was not watching it alone, and situations change, and I never got back into it.
Say less, fam. Say less.
I just never got back into it.
Right.
Never got back into
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Big dog, but the story wasn't compelling enough. You didn't want to, just continue the journey, a hero's journey on your own.
It was just I had a lot going on back then. You know what I mean?
Season one's probably the slowest season. You definitely don't have time.
I can still get back
it takes so long to get through. You definitely don't have time.
I still got time.
Oh, no.
So you were just nodding along there when someone was like,
But I'm that guy.
I know some of these words.
Did you watch Game of Thrones? I have watched Game of Thrones.
And then I said, the mountain. Chris got it instantly.
Yeah, and I was like, there's some hills. Yeah.
But
anyways, triple-double for Domantas Sabonis.
If I get into that conversation with somebody and they throw out, I've probably done it to you before. You throw out a reference. I'm not telling you no.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't watch movies. So I'm just like, that's a classic. No, yeah.
I love that part of it, right? Did you go yet for your dog?
No, I haven't gone yet. I'm gonna go with my dog. I'm gonna pick De'Aaron Fox because we saw the dog come off its chain a little bit the other day.
That's right.
And I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with a little loose cannon. I think De'Aaron keeps that intensity going. They're gonna need it, and Jimmy's not going to be out there, so I think De'Aaron can maybe prove to be the biggest alpha dog out there.
Yeah.
And I would love to see just a dominant performance from De'Aaron going against, I don't even know who who's going to be their point guard with Terry Rozier out. So I just hope De'Aaron absolutely dominates tonight.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he should do, right? These have been the games where, okay, I don't need to be that person. No. You need to be that player every single night. You need to come out and set the tone immediately. Don't think that you can win the game in the first quarter, but also set the tone and let the Heat know, okay, you essentially have waved the white flag with not playing these guys due to injury and the guys that are unable to play because, they got in trouble with the fight and everything.
Yep.
So we're going to make sure that you get the L that you've already – the Heat have already scheduled this as an L. This is already scheduled as an L for the Heat. They would never tell you that, but this is already an L for them. They're already prepared. So give them what they figure they're going to get anyway. All right? Just make it plain and simple. From Dwayne Baker, Keegan is my dog tonight, and I'm with Dwayne. Keegan is my dog tonight as well. Manny Too Legit. I got Herder as my dog tonight on the 916. I got Herder as my dog tonight as well. Also from the 209, Sabonis keeps it rolling. Bam, ain't no thing from the 209. There you have it. I just want a W. I would like to see a blowout. It would be nice because the next two games are no joke. But just get it done.
I've got a little side dog action here, I guess. Trey Lyles, his last 4 games has been, and this hurts me to say, he's been terrible. Yeah. He has been horrible his last 4 games. Let's see here. Looking at this is going all the way back to the OKC game before the break. He didn't dress in the Phoenix game right before that Denver game. His last 4 games, Trey Lyles, 3 points per game, shooting 26% from the field on just under 4 attempts, shooting 10% from 3, 50% from the free throw line. I'm hoping today Trey Lyles can get back on action.
Return of the Trey base.
Come on.
Yeah, we need you, Trey. Take care of business. That's exactly what we hope the Kings do. Drive Guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper getting you ready for Kings and Heat. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Simone. We will be back tomorrow. Until then, secure the bag, light the beam.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our show